increase in box office receipts.
A fully vaccinated person in our state tests positive for coronavirus. All new at 6 o'clock what experts are saying about what's being called a breakthrough case.
And a former Florida lawmaker now in trouble with the law. Coming up, what investigators say he did to confuse voters to win a key race for his party.
And we made it through this storm, so what's your weekend forecast going to look like? We're in next with the answer.
92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
People say they don't like going to the dentist, but what they mean is they don't like the discomfort. Dr. Alan Rembos at smilesbyrembos.com understands. Dr. Rembos uses computerized anesthetic delivery, resulting in 50% fewer injections. And Dr. Rembos places and restores implants, eliminating delays, additional costs, and no running around. New patients and emergencies usually seen within 24 hours. Cosmetic treatment often completed in 1 to 2 weeks. Read the reviews at smilesbyrembos.com. Offices in Marco, Naples, Sanibel, and Fort Myers.
Where do designers store their clients' furniture when doing an estate home remodel? Rice's Moving and Transport in Naples, with over 10,000 square feet of air-conditioned storage space. Designers use Rice's Moving and Transport for one reason: trust. They know Rice's Moving team will pad wrap and inspect all articles carefully, then securely store them. Contractors use Rice's during a remodel to store customers' personal items too. Upon completion, everything is then returned to your home, completely unpacked and carefully reassembled. Another important point to consider when selecting a mover is this: only a handful of moving companies actually follow all the laws. Many moving companies simply pay employees in cash. This creates an issue for you as they are not insured. If there's an accident, you're responsible. So if you're planning a whole home or condo remodel or need help moving and storing your treasured furniture and valuables, trust Rice's Moving and Transport, fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind. Rice'sMoving.net, moving you into the future.
Window World is a family-owned business, and we really mean family. And with a family-owned business, you get a business that is looking to treat everyone right. We live in this community. We want to take care of our friends and neighbors.
With our family-owned business, we are backed by a company that believes in top-quality products at the best price available. That way, more people can afford energy-saving windows and doors, as well as top-quality, hurricane-rated, high-impact windows that also offer you some increased security to your home.
And being backed by our parent company, we're going to be around for a long time. The guarantee Window World offers is the absolute best guarantee you are ever going to find in a window replacement company. If anything goes wrong with your new windows, Window World, that's us, and Window World Corporate will stand behind it and get it fixed.
No high pressure, no sitting in your home for hours trying to get you to make a decision right away, but simply good business to our friends and neighbors. And when we're through installing your new windows, we'll stand behind those windows with the best guarantee in the window replacement business. See for yourself.
Window World, simply the best for less.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 6 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The U.S. and China publicly airing their grievances, and they could again today in day 2 of talks in Alaska. Fox's Simon Owen has more live.
Dave, the talks were unusually fiery for a diplomatic meeting, at least at the start. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said China's behavior threatens global stability.
The United States relationship with China will be competitive where it should be, collaborative where it can be, adversarial where it must be.
Blinken's Chinese counterpart then shot back. He said U.S. democracy is struggling and black Americans are being slaughtered. The State Department says private discussions that followed were substantive and serious. Dave?
Simon, amid a migrant surge at the border, House Democrats passed 2 immigration reform bills. One helps those brought here illegally as children.
It creates a 10-year conditional status before people can then apply for citizenship. The other bill creates a 2-year temporary status for migrant farm workers, and that status could be renewed indefinitely so long as that person continues to work. They could get a green card after 10 years of work and paying a $1,000 fine, and they can apply for citizenship after 5 years. That'll pass the House. The Senate, though, is still very much in question here, and Republicans say these measures go too far.
That's Fox's Doug Luzader. A milestone today for President Biden, the 100 millionth vaccine dose jabbed into an arm since he took office.
But I've always said, that's just the floor. We will not stop until we beat this pandemic.
Which now they're also waiting on new guidance for opening schools still closed.
As growing evidence shows students 3 feet apart could be safe. Well, Thursday, the CDC said, quote, virtual instruction might present more risks than does in-person instruction related to child and parental mental and emotional health.
That's Ashley Strohmeyer. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News traffic.
In Lehigh Acres, we are slowing down on this Friday morning commute on Jaguar heading eastbound towards Columbus. Also, Columbus is congested heading north. Now, if you're heading out of LaBelle towards Lehigh Acres or Immokalee, 29 is backed up for about a half mile. If you're heading south towards State Road 82, very slow traffic. I-75 is up to speed, but still seeing some residual wet roadways from showers that happened overnight. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. We still have a few areas of light rain lingering in Collier County, but elsewhere we are clearing out and quiet. We'll see a lot of sunshine as cooler and drier air mixes in this afternoon. High temperatures in the 70s. We keep those cooler and drier conditions all weekend long as Saturday and Sunday morning will feature overnight lows in the 50s and afternoon highs only peaking in the mid-70s too. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
The antidote to the anti-conservatives. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
True relief for back and neck pain.
Are you driving down the road right now with back or neck pain or pain into your arms or legs? Maybe your struggle is getting out of your bed or chair. Maybe you get weakness when you put weight on your leg or swing your golf club. It's time you address this problem once and for all. At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, these are the conditions that we treat every day, except we treat the root of the problem. No injections or pain meds. Non-surgical spinal decompression, recognized around the country for incredible statistical results for long-term pain relief. Break the cycle of pain from sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, arthritis, or car accidents. Non-surgical spinal decompression can get your life back. Spinal decompression is safe and comfortable for any age and doesn't involve any hanging upside down. Don't hurt anymore when the answer is only a phone call away. Call our Medicare-friendly office, Johnston Spinal Care, for a free telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Your new home is calling you to live the good life, starting now. River Hall is where it all starts. A true paradise. River Hall is one of the Gulf Coast's most exclusive master-planned communities, where country club living meets the casual, barefoot Florida lifestyle. River Hall's Davis Love III Championship Golf Course is one of the top-rated courses in the Gulf Coast area, and you'll love River Hall's private oasis pools, bike paths, fitness center, tennis and bocce courts, and more. Live large with homes priced from just the 500s to the 800s from Pulte. The Pulte collection of breezy, open floor plans offers something for every lifestyle, with upscale finishes and features designed for elegant, gracious living. Here's to finally finding the perfect place. Here's to home. River Hall is just 20 minutes east of Fort Myers in the River Shores District. Come see model homes now. Visit liveriverhall.com. That's liveriverhall.com.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Remember, customize and save with Liberty Mutual Insurance Company. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom, too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Look at you. Look at you. You did it. You did it, everybody. You did it. You did it. You made it to Friday. Look at you. Look at Jake. Jake made it to Friday. Look at the excitement, everybody. Look at the thrills, the excitement. The camera is at an angle again. The camera's messed up. No big deal, but we can see Jake. Can't hear you. There's Jake walking off the camera because he goes to hit the microphone and it doesn't work.
Yeah, I was going to say that your mic was off as well.
Was it? Oh, okay. Listen, we got to stop doing this. We're upsetting people now. We're getting people in certain places upset. We don't want to upset anybody. We want this to be it's Magical Friday. All right, what do we got here? It's Rand Paul versus the Fauci. Did you hear that audio from yesterday talking about masks and theater? And why is it that we're told 15 days to stop the 30-day spread, to shut down the government, to shut down schools? And it's just a little while, everybody, just a little time period, nothing to see here. Everything's going to be fine. We'll get back to normal any minute now. And a whole year later, it's like, any minute now. And we're waiting. And we're done waiting. And Rand Paul wants to know from Fauci yesterday on Capitol Hill. Can you answer the question? Vaccines, right? They're 90+% effective. We know after 2 weeks, you get the vaccine and you're good to go. And people who had the vid, once you get it, you build up the antibodies. You're good to go. We got the herd immunity thing going on. Okay, why are you sitting here with a double mask? It's theater. Clearly, it's theater. Where's the evidence? And good for Rand Paul for doing it once again. The one person that seems to, on Capitol Hill, be willing to go after the Fauci. And, he's the arbiter of all things related to liberty. It's Dr. Fauci who gets to decide whether or not you have freedom or liberty. Did you not know that? Didn't you know that the office that he holds, that is his specific gig? No, nobody knows that because it's not true. But anyway, we'll play the audio so you can hear that coming up. Also, some of the other stories that we're going to be hitting on this morning. There is some good news. This is a Good Friday, a good news Friday. Let me put it that way. That's the best way to put it. But it is a good news Friday segment that we will have. Hey, the whole thing with wokeness, how the wokeness thing is going and out-woking the woke and you want to be woke. And is it possible that the issue right now of wokeness may be something that is backfiring? How woke whites are turning minorities into Republican voters. This is a pretty important story from the Federalist. Christopher Jacobs is the writer of this story. And when I read through this, I thought, and maybe some of you may recognize this because numbers don't lie. Some people lie themselves. I mean, it's their thing.
Hey, Esther.
I'm talking about numbers. Numbers don't lie. People may lie, but numbers don't. And we're going to talk about that. Is it true? Is that what's happening? Upper class whites alienating African Americans and Hispanics from the Democrat coalition. How's that possible? Well, we'll explain. I think this is a pretty big story. If you missed Congressman Byron Donalds yesterday, we'll do the replay coming up at 6:35. Pretty important information from Washington that you need to know. It relates to what we're doing right here in Southwest Florida. A lot of local news goes along with that. So 6:35, Congressman Byron Donalds, that coming up. And one of the stranger stories of the day would be the story about the Tokyo Olympics. Did you hear about the Tokyo Olympics, Jake? Did you know there's going to be an Olympics in Tokyo? Oh, I'm sorry, in China. There's an Olympic in China, but there was an Olympics in Tokyo. And the creative director of the Tokyo Olympics had to resign because of what he wanted to have or suggested that there should be that maybe for the presentation that there should be an Olympig. An Olympig. And he wasn't talking about something floating in the sky. He was talking about an actual human being. It's an odd story. It's really strange. But it's Friday. Why not? So we'll get to that coming up. All right, let's get to the meat of the story here. The meat and the guts and whatever else you want to say. I don't know. It's weird. Okay. So yesterday we had Rand Paul there in a heated exchange with the Fauci. And this was on Capitol Hill. You know, they're trying to discuss things that are happening with the vid, the latest, the policies out of the Biden administration. And there are many questions that people have asked about the vaccine, that have asked about what we're doing in the future as far as getting closer and closer to the moment where we can stop with masks, where we can stop the issues of not being able to go to work, opening up commerce, so getting back to our jobs, getting back to our schools nationally. And so he has some very important questions to ask. So Rand Paul started off, and I just wanted to get to this part of it before I get to the heart of the audio I'm going to play. So imagine that Rand Paul is sitting there and he's saying, look, I'm going to just read to you a bunch of evidence that I'm presenting from doctors, from scientists, from labs, from people that are making the case that if you get the vaccine after 2 weeks, that you've built up immunity, that you don't have to worry about masking up, giving you evidence that would suggest that once you get the virus, you're not going to spread, you're not going to transmit, you're not going to get it again. The evidence is just not there. We're not seeing any of these hospitalization issues. We're not seeing any of the things that we have to shut down an economy and the power grab that appears to be going on. So he's giving the Fauci all the evidence that nobody else wants to hear. You know, the kind of evidence that would say that if you find something outside of what the experts say, the ones that we're told are the experts, even though these individuals are doing lab studies and they're experts, but they're not the right experts because it's their truth, not the truth. And so Rand Paul, after giving out all this information and this study and trying to ask the Fauci, what about masks? Listen to this exchange.
What study shows significant reinfection, hospitalization, and death after either natural infection or the vaccine? It doesn't exist.
Right. Okay. So he just got through explaining to the Fauci that, look, all the evidence, everything that I'm seeing, all the people that I'm hearing about and all the science that I'm reading, it's right in front of me, is suggesting all of these things. It doesn't exist. There's no evidence. And what are you basing your policies, and what is the government basing their policies on?
There is no evidence that there are significant reinfections after vaccine. In fact, I don't think we have a hospitalization in the United States after the 2-week period after the second vaccination.
Okay, now did you hear the Fauci's in the background going, oh, here we go. We're going for a ride. I got to take this guy for a ride. And I got to have everybody else go for the ride. So here comes the ride, everybody. Buckle up.
We don't have a death in the United States.
You're not hearing what I'm saying about variants. We're talking about wild type versus variants.
And what proof is there that there are significant reinfections with hospitalizations and death from the variants? None in our country. Zero.
Well, because we don't have a prevalent of a variant yet. We're having one. Can I finish? We're having 117 that's becoming more dominant.
Policy based on conjecture.
Thank you. So he's like, where is the evidence of reinfection, of hospitalizations, of deaths? And he's like, well, no, you don't understand. There's variants out there. There's a possibility that there's variants. And good for Rand Paul, because he's like, wait a minute. We don't have the variants that you're talking about, deaths and hospitalizations. It doesn't exist. This is conjecture. You can't do that. You can't base policy on conjecture. Yeah, he can. Yeah, they do.
No,
it
isn't based on conjecture.
Variants, so you want people to wear a mask for another couple years.
No.
You've been vaccinated, and you parade around in 2 masks for show.
No.
You can't get it again. There's virtually 0% chance you're going to get it, and yet you're telling people that have had the vaccine, who have immunity. You're defying everything we know about immunity by telling people to wear a mask who've been vaccinated.
No.
Instead, you should be saying there is no science to say we're going to have a problem from the large number of people being vaccinated. You want to get rid of vaccine hesitancy? Tell them they can quit wearing their mask after they get the vaccine. Okay. You want people to get the vaccine? Give them a reward instead of telling them that the nanny state's going to be there for 3 more years and you got to wear a mask forever. People don't want to hear it. There's no science behind it.
Well, let me just state for the record that masks are not theater. Masks are protective. And we
have immunity there, theater. If you already have immunity, you're wearing a mask to give comfort to others. You're not wearing a mask because of any science.
I totally disagree with you.
Oh, that's it. He just totally disagrees. And that's it. And the Fauci disagrees. So if the Fauci disagrees with Rand Paul, who, by the way, is a doctor, knows a thing or two about these things, if he says that he disagrees, and that's it. That's the science. The science is I disagree. Even though Rand Paul is saying, listen, this is theater. What are you doing? You can't get infected again. You can't infect others. And yet you're walking around with a double mask because it's theater. Instead of saying to people, the science is not out there and does not suggest that there's a problem if you get the vaccine after 2 weeks, or if you get it, that you have to worry about reinfection or infecting others. There's no science that shows all of this. And yet you're parading around with double masks. Why are you doing it? And good for Rand Paul for standing up. Good for him for doing it. And again, this goes back to the local debate. How we talked about this weeks ago. Those people in Collier County who are all upset because seeds at table. How do you do this? This is a breeding ground for COVID. You're causing all kinds of problems. And there's no evidence to prove that or show it. None. Mask mandates or no mask mandates. There's no science for what you're arguing. And then the question becomes, why are you doing this? And there's a lot to it. There's two particular sides to this that are really, really critical. Good for Rand Paul for pushing back. Good for Rand Paul for putting out the information and the science and the data that he has researched and looked into. You know, the science and data that, of course, the left and everybody wants and demands, because they got to talk to the experts.
I'm not the expert.
I know you're not an expert, but that's not the point. But there are two specific things about this story with Rand Paul and Dr. Fauci and masks and where we're going and the social distancing and the masking and being able to, unless, of course, you're John Kerry, you can get on a plane and you don't have to wear a mask because he's John Kerry and he's better than you. And no, you can't do that. And when you have a child who can't stay on a plane because they're autistic or other issues, and they get kicked off the plane with the family, and nobody wants to understand what's happening, and then the science and the data would suggest that what you're doing anyway doesn't make any sense because we're talking about children. Do people know the science and the data and the numbers, or is it political? Let me tell you something. There are some things that are happening that should shake the ground that you walk on. Because the picture that you see here is a broad picture of control, of the taking away of your liberties and freedom, of power that is uncontrolled, and people who are doing things that are outrageous. For example, the first part of this, in a story that's provoking outrage across parts of the conservative internet, because that's the only place you'll hear about this. You ready for this, Jake? Here's a story you're going to love. I know Jake's already frustrated enough. Here you go. A New York City judge has ordered a child removed from the custody of her mother because the mother refused to wear a mask on a city street in broad daylight in front of her daughter's private school on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Do I need to say that again? She didn't want to wear a mask. And I guess the father of the child didn't like that. The school didn't like it. And the nurse came out from the school aggressively demanding she put on the mask. She was already leaving, and she's like, look, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm leaving. Next thing you know, they took her daughter away from her. And then the court said, yeah, custody's gone. They're saying it's child abuse. Had to go to Child Protective Service. That should scare you. That should worry you. Because again, it's about the science and the data, right? That's what we're trying to look at. We're trying to see why somebody would act this way, why people would go after somebody if the science and the data doesn't show that what you're doing and what's happening is a detriment to your child. That's the first issue. And the second issue is, how bad is it? How bad is the misinformation and distortion on COVID policies and behavior? Well, the left-leaning Brookings Institute was talking about this, and they were bringing up studies from Gallup, and even the New York Times was talking about this. Pandemic has been far-reaching in its effects, but knowledge of key facts about the virus and related perceptions of risk associated with it are far from uniform. The varied perception of the facts is caused at least in part by varied exposure to relevant information. They go on to talk early on in this article about the distortion of the facts that undermine public health. And that's the problem, that they looked at Democrats and Republicans and they looked at different groups and they noticed something that is really dangerous, that people still to this day have no clue what COVID is and isn't. How is it possible that after a year of a pandemic, of a global pandemic, that there are still people in this country and around the world that have no idea what COVID is and is not? That should be impossible. In a world where people care about facts, care about the truth, care about honesty in reporting and journalism, that there is absolutely positively no reason with the reach that you have with the media and the social universe and the internet, there is absolutely no reason why across the board people should not know what is and isn't when it comes to the problems and the issues related to COVID-19. But yet they do, because it's distorted, and it's distorted because of politics. And who's doing it? When asked to estimate the share of deaths by age group, the average American dramatically overestimates the share of COVID-19 deaths from people aged 24 and younger. Now, if I had to ask Jake, and I'll throw him under the bus right now, just because, well, why not? It's Friday. It's Jake Day. It's Jake Day Friday. Jake, you ready to be thrown under the bus?
Yeah,
all right. All right. Let's give you a little bit of music. Let's make it entertaining here. We're gonna throw Jake under the bus. Let's have some fun.
Beep beep.
Jake, if you had to do ages 24 and under, okay, 24 and under, COVID, the amount of deaths, COVID-19 deaths. I don't like the music. It's too weird. This is because it's a serious topic. Ages 24 and a percentage. What's the percentage of deaths age 24 and under due to COVID?
Like
is it 1%, 8%, 10%, 20%, 100%? What's the percentage?
Like 0.5%.
Okay. It's 0.1. Now, good for Jake. He sits here each and every day and he listens to this program. It's 0.1. The average person says it's like 8%. 8%. That's 80 times what it really is. How do you do that? How do you think 24 and under, the chance of the percentage of 24 and younger dying is at 8% when it's 0.1? How do you do that? The elderly, those 65 and older, have accounted for 81% of deaths at the time of the survey. Democrats were further off than Republicans and more likely to overstate the risks to young people, even after accounting for age, race, gender, geographic, educational differences. COVID has a much higher mortality rate and risk for those that are older than younger. And the facts, people don't know it. Democrats said that 36% of people over the age of 65 are dying. 36% when they're at 80%. How do you come up with that number? How do you do that? Less than 1 in 5 U.S. adults give a correct answer of between 1 and 5%, talking about the infected person and infections. What percentage of people who have been infected by the coronavirus needed to be hospitalized? This is important stuff, everybody. What percentage of people who have been infected by the coronavirus need to be hospitalized? The correct answer is not precisely known, but it's highly likely to be between 1 and 5%, according to the best available estimates. Less than 1 in 5 adults give the correct answer between 1 and 5. Many adults say at least half of infected people need hospitalization. If that were true, the millions of resulting patients would have overwhelmed hospitals throughout the pandemic, but it never did. Hospitals were never overwhelmed, even during the height of the pandemic. That's half the country. How do you do that? And it goes on and on to talk about the misinformation and the distortions, and here's how that happens. Because it's politicized. And it's wrong. And since day one, I've said this, that there's no way that this should be politicized, and yet it was. And you can answer the question, why? And against who? and against which individual. It's awful. It's an awful thing that this is happening. And we're at a point right now where people still don't know the numbers and the facts with the data. And that's why Rand Paul is arguing with the Fauci. That's why people are arguing with the government. That's why people are arguing about not opening up the economy. We don't need to give people checks. We need to give people jobs and their life back. I can't believe we're begging the government to give us our life back. The government that's supposed to be listening to us, not the other way around. All right, happy Friday. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. Please go to the website and enjoy to watch the program if you choose to, because we're here in the palatial studios. You can check it all out on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This Fox News Business Report is presented by Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions Incorporated, providing organic and botanical pest control solutions since 2011.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Asian stock markets have followed Wall Street lower after rising bond yields dampened enthusiasm about the Federal Reserve's promise to keep interest rates low. On Thursday, Wall Street's benchmark S&P 500 index closed down 1.5% after bond yields rose, which prompted some investors to shift money out of stocks. A day earlier, Wall Street hit a new high after the Fed promised to keep its key interest rate near zero through 2023. A global semiconductor shortage and a February winter storm have combined to force Ford to build F-150 pickup trucks without some computers. The company says that the pickups will be held at factories for a number of weeks. And a shareholder lawsuit has been filed against an electric truck startup company in Ohio, claiming that it has defrauded investors. I'm Gary Baumgarten, invested in you.
Cleanliness and safety are essential to the success of any business. That's why Cintas has introduced our Total Clean program, a one-of-a-kind service that includes scheduled deliveries of essential cleaning supplies, hygienically cleaned uniforms, and on-site sanitizer and disinfectant services to help eliminate germs. Learn what the Cintas Total Clean program can do for you.
Oh, I'm ready!
Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Dr. Svetlana Kogan here, a board-certified internal medicine concierge physician on 5th Avenue South in Naples. Many of you wonder what holistic practice is. Well, good health is like a puzzle. It depends on how you perceive yourself, your environment, what you eat, your relationships, and lifestyle. It takes time and skill for the doctor to put these pieces of the puzzle together for you and come up with solutions customized to your specific needs. Holistic doctors believe that less medication is better and use preventive approach to keep you out of harm's way. This is also a concierge practice. Every patient gets my email and cell phone for emergencies and can be seen the same day if necessary. You are seen by me personally, and we take all the time that you need. You can visit my website, customlongevity.com. That's customlongevity.com to learn about how I, Dr. Svetlana Kogan, can help you feel healthy and balanced again.
Chevy sales desk, this is Marty.
Marty!
Yeah?
Everyone's getting lucky at Victory Lane Chevrolet.
And what, I'm getting lucky too?
Oh, no, Marty, you've never been lucky in your life, especially in high school.
All right.
I'm the lucky charm, saving customers a pot of gold on new Victory Lane Chevys.
Oh, yeah, so you're the magic leprechaun here, huh?
No, Marty, you're the only one conning your customers. He hung up. Gulf Coast, it's time to get lucky at Victory Lane Chevrolet. Shipments of new 2021 Chevys are arriving daily. Be first in line to save thousands. Plus, get our gigantic cash allowance for any trade. Get lucky now. Find new roads with hundreds of vehicles to choose from. New 2021 Chevy Silverados with savings up to $9,000 off MSRP. All new electric Chevy Bolt up to $15,000 off MSRP. Need credit? Lucky you. Our goal is 100% credit approval at Victory Lane Chevrolet on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Online at VictoryLaneChevrolet.com. Stock number S1156 and W1002. Price plus taxes and fees. All rebates to dealers. Silverado offer for current lessees. Bold for current Costco members. Offers do not combine. Expires 3/31/2021.
Pandemic, market drops, elections. Don't let the noise and fear distract you. Where do you go for clarity in uncertain times? I'm Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's financial planner. For experience, advice on planning for retirement, visit savingtheinvestor.com.
I'm Harvey Massey. At Massey Services, we know every lawn is unique and requires customized care.
That's why our environmental approach includes aeration, which allows water and nutrients to reach the roots of your lawn, as well as an irrigation program which ensures proper coverage and reduces water waste. With Messi's Green Up program, you'll enjoy a healthy and a beautiful lawn year-round. That's Messi Services. Expect more and get it.
Rockstar Harley will pay your sales tax promotion on any pre-owned Harley this week only.
All right, let's cut the crap. You know it and I know it. Rockstar Harley doesn't intend on paying or avoiding your sales tax.
Sales tax is the amount of your discount on any pre-owned Harley. Rockstar Harley is Florida's #1 volume Harley dealer with over 500 Harleys on site. You don't need perfect credit, don't need a cash down payment, and 100% of all credit applications considered. Every pre-owned Harley discounted by your sales tax at Rockstar Harley now through Sunday.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Got mold?
In your house?
What do I do now?
Call 239-936-1033.
Call Fire Service, your disaster response friends.
Wink News traffic.
There is a deadly crash in Charlotte County at Veterans in Atwater that is shutting down Veterans Boulevard between Cochrane and Yorkshire. Now, an alternate that's nearby and is up to speed, Peachland. You can hop on Peachland, no complaints. However, if you are on I-75, we are very busy heading southbound. It's just a busy Friday morning as you're heading into Collier County out of Lee County. If you're a normal I-75 commuter, you know the deal. Make sure to use those turn signals. Also, in Collier County, the delay I'm seeing right now is on Immokalee Road heading eastbound to get onto I-75. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. We still have a few areas of light rain lingering in Collier County, but elsewhere we are clearing out and quiet. We'll see a lot of sunshine as cooler and drier air mixes in this afternoon. High temperatures in the 70s. We keep those cooler and drier conditions all weekend long as Saturday and Sunday morning will feature overnight lows in the 50s and afternoon highs only peaking in the mid-70s too. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I just want to say I love America because everyone gets a voice.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. Some of the biggest advertising air conditioning companies locally are not really local. They're part of national and international conglomerates, and you're just another number on the bottom line. At Kobe Cooling, we live right here. Our children and grandchildren live right here. We sponsor your kids' sports teams, local scholarships, local food banks, and all kinds of local organizations. We're not for sale now, and we never will be. The Kobe family started Kobe Cooling, we run it, and we even run service calls too. So when you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Local families serving local families. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Our team can help you understand your legal options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Offices Fort Myers and Naples.
Disarm the people. That is the best and most effective way to enslave them. This was the warning of the father of the Constitution and fourth President of the United States, James Madison. I'm Lori Roman, President of the American Constitutional Rights Union, and this is a Live Free Minute. The Founding Fathers put some strong words into the Second Amendment to the Constitution. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. After that run-in with the Redcoats, the founders were outspoken in their belief that the right to own firearms to defend oneself, family, and nation was sacred, and the difference between being a subject and a citizen. We ask you to join us in standing up.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, happy Friday. All right, just want to say hi to everybody. I know I'm waiting. Okay, I'm messing up all kinds of things this morning because it's Friday. And, okay, so, yeah, all right. I'm just looking at people talking, and I'm looking at my text line, and I'm looking at the camera here. I just want to see who's here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just want to say hi to everybody, and see who's watching this morning. So let's see, who do we have here? Happy Jake Day, Treb. Thanks, Treb. Good to see you here. Good morning, Jimmy. Good to see you. Good to see you here. Jim says, have a good Jake Day. I'm a little feisty this morning, so I'm kind of already screwing up. Yeah, and thanks, Gary. I got confused about, no, I didn't. I'm confused about the whole Olympics thing I'm not really I'm just following the story about the Olympig, where the creative director of the Tokyo Olympics resigned because he suggested that this female comedian that's kind of a little on the large side, that she should walk around during the opening ceremonies dressed up as a pig, and she should be the Olympig. Somehow he thought that was I guess he said it in they were doing a brainstorming meeting, and he said, "Hey, wouldn't that be funny?" And yeah, it didn't go over well. It wasn't funny. Well, it was funny to him, but it wasn't funny to anybody else. I just thought it was a funny story. But as far as the Olympics are concerned, yeah, I screwed up. Okay, and I do. Happy Jake Day. Thank you there, Lady Catherine. We appreciate it. Marsha, good to see you. Marsha. The bakery. What are we baking up this morning, by the way, Anna? What are we making? Tell me. Let me live through you. All right. That's right, Mark. It is Paradise. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, screw-ups are more fun. Hey, ask Sean Hannity how screw-ups are. He had one yesterday. Got caught live on camera with his glasses on, smoking a vape. That's pretty funny. All right, and he laughed it off, and so did everybody else. Steve Fintrano. Hi, Steve. Good to see you. And Laura. Good morning. All right, I'm looking at the time. I got to go. If you missed Byron Donald's interview yesterday, it's coming up next.
Going on now at Edison Mall in Port Charlotte Town Center. Don't wait.
Where do designers store their clients' furniture when doing an estate home remodel? Rice's Moving and Transport in Naples, with over 10,000 square feet of air-conditioned storage space. Designers use Rice's Moving and Transport for one reason: trust. They know Rice's Moving team will pad wrap and inspect all articles carefully, then securely store them. Contractors use Rice's during a remodel to store customers' personal items too. Upon completion, everything is then returned to your home, completely unpacked and carefully reassembled. Another important point to consider when selecting a mover is this: only a handful of moving companies actually follow all the laws. Many moving companies simply pay employees in cash. This creates an issue for you as they are not insured. If there's an accident, you're responsible. So if you're planning a whole home or condo remodel, or need help moving and storing your treasured furniture and valuables, trust Rice's Moving and Transport, fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind. Rice'sMoving.net, moving you into the future.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. So, 239-479-5592. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. Thank you for the corrections there in the comments and reactions on the DrewSteele.com website. If you're watching right now, and even if you're watching on Facebook, and we're there at Drew Steele Radio, had some corrections. Yeah, because the Tokyo Olympics got postponed. I said China. I don't know why I did that. The Tokyo Olympics got postponed. And so in 4 more months, they're supposed to be coming up again. And they've been having issues and trying to figure out whether or not, all kinds of things, right? It's just been a mess. And so here's a setback for you. I guess this is it's the creative director had to resign. Because the creative director got together and he brings staff online to do this brainstorming exchange. And said, hey, I got an idea. There's this really, really famous comedian. She's supposedly, I guess she's a female fashion icon. She's very famous in Japan. She's, Jake, what's the word I'm looking for? She's full-figured woman. Little on, Okay. And he said, why don't we do this? A play on the word Olympic. Why don't we have her come out during the ceremonies there, the opening ceremonies, and we'll dress her up as the Olympig. We'll put like a little snout on her and stuff
Now,
like
who
that.
said this?
The creative director of the Tokyo Olympics.
What's his name?
It's Hiroshi Sasaki.
Oh, well, there you go. Cancel this guy.
He's Sasaki'd. And so there you go. So he's canceled. He's out. Well, let's just put it this way. Probably not the best suggestion ever. Canceling or no canceling. That's not a good idea. So that's just a bad day. All right. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to talk with Congressman Byron Donalds. If you missed the interview, very important. A lot going on in D.C. And so we opened up with Congressman Donalds getting right to the point.
Hey, listen, before we begin, one thing I want to make sure people back home are aware of. The Democrats right now are on this kick to try to unseat a member of Congress. Her name is Marianne Miller Meeks. She actually won by 6 votes in Iowa's 6th congressional district.
Yeah.
And her Democrat opponent is challenging the results of the election. I know everybody gasped, oh my gosh. But she's challenging the results of the election. And the Democrats right now have started the process to remove her from Congress. Now, Marianne's seat, she won by 6 votes. She was actually confirmed by the state of Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Her election was certified. She was sworn in. She has been sat. But the Democrats now, very quietly, are trying to find a way to unseat her. So I think it's important for people to understand that if they're going to, have this double standard like they have had when people challenge the Electoral College, which does happen all the time in the history of our country, that they also understand that the Democrats right now are actively trying to remove a sitting member of Congress.
So you're
How's your day going?
Mine's fine. I was just going to say, so you're suggesting there's Democrat hypocrisy going on. Is that what you're suggesting, Congressman?
No, I would never suggest that.
No.
That never happens. Nope. They're always on the up and up. But look, that's one of the things that's happening up here. I mean, look, real short, and I know we've had these conversations, it seems now every week.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep saying it. Joe Biden ran on saving democracy from Donald Trump, apparently.
Yeah.
But Joe Biden is destroying the republic. That is what's happening up here.
Yeah.
Let me be very clear for everybody back home. They are destroying the republic. Congress is not meeting. There are bills going to the floor that you have 50 new members of Congress who've never seen these bills in any committee. They're going straight to the floor. They have radicalized the Violence Against Women Act. And I know that Newsweek put me on a list of Republicans who opposed it. Let me tell you exactly why I opposed this version of the Violence Against Women's Act. Because the first thing they did is they tripled the funding when there was no need to do so, but they tripled it. The second thing they did is that they added in all of the gender equity, gender identity, gender transitioning language that has no business being in the Violence Against Women's Act. It's supposed to be the violence against women. They actually opened it up to put in all of the language for people who are dealing with transgender issues. Now, listen, if you want to do a separate bill about violence against people with transgender issues, let's do that. But don't open up the Violence Against Women's Act and drop all this other stuff in there. And the third reason I oppose it is because Nancy Pelosi allowed the Violence Against Women Act to expire just so they could play politics with it. Right. So that's for the people at home. So that's the stuff that's going on up here. It's going to continue, and it's important that Republicans stand firm against it. And let's make sure we protect women. There was an amendment yesterday on the floor that was by Elise Stefanik out of New York. The amendment called to actually remove the new language that Democrats put in and actually put the Violence Against Women Act back to what it has always been. I voted for that amendment, but I wasn't going to vote for what their radical version of that bill, even though the title looks right. And so, unfortunately, that's what's happening up here.
Yeah, and I think that this is what we're starting to see, Byron, and it's pretty simple, that they have figured out the formula, an acceptable formula to some of the American people, maybe most, that they're able to describe something as COVID relief when it's really only a portion of it, and all of the rest of it that gets thrown in. They found a way to couch it so that people will say, all right, I can't be against this. There's no way. The same way they did it with what you just discussed, that they have now made this regular, the regular rule that is out there, which is first, before you look at the fancy title of whatever it is they're trying to pass, try to figure out what else has been added onto it to see how they're going to squeeze through some of their progressive agenda. And that's what we're going to see, right? I mean, it's pretty much calling it out and showing and exposing what it is they're doing. It may not be obvious, but we have to continue to talk about it.
Absolutely. Let me tell you two other things that are happening right now. So this week on the floor, I believe tomorrow is the vote. There is a vote about the pay-as-you-go rules because of the $1.9 trillion COVID Democrat bailout monstrosity that they passed last week. Now, under sequestration, I'm going to get into the weeds a little bit.
Yeah.
But under sequestration, this is the thing that passed under Barack Obama, where Mitch McConnell and Barack Obama were playing chicken, and sequestration became the rule up here. Under sequestration, there are supposed to be cuts to mandatory and discretionary spending, a part of which is about $39 billion every year for the next 10 years in Medicare. The Democrats knew when they passed this monstrosity that they were going to force automatic cuts in Medicare. But this week what they're doing is they're going to waive the rules in a bill on pay-go so they don't have to cut Medicare, but at the same time can just run up the debt with the $2 trillion bill they just passed. So what's going to happen is a bunch of Republicans are going to vote no on that bill, and then the Democrats are going to run to the media saying that Republicans voted to cut Medicare. No, the Democrats voted to cut Medicare when they ran through this monstrosity of a bill, knowing we didn't have the money to pay for it, knowing it was going to cause cuts in Medicare. So I filed the bill. I filed it yesterday on the floor of the House that says that before you go to Medicare cuts, what has to happen in order to comply with budget sequestration under pay-as-you-go is that the stimulus bill from last week, any cuts necessary to stop the Medicare cuts, you have to go into the money that goes to state and local governments, that $350 billion. You have to go into anything that has nothing to do with COVID relief or medical care under that bill, and you have to get the cuts from that bill first before you go into Medicare. And I know what I said is a lot, and some people are like, wait, what's he talking about? This is the dance that happens up here. This is why so many Americans are frustrated. That's why people say that our politicians are stupid and they don't know what they're doing. And unfortunately, some of them are too slick and know exactly what they're doing. Right. They are trying to find ways to spend your money so completely recklessly. And then when something happens like a Medicare cut, they say, oh, no, we love Medicare. We want to save it. They cover that up. In the meantime, all they're doing is running up the debt. They're running up the deficits, and they don't care about purchasing power. They don't care about the future of the country.
Oh boy, you
the
want
other thing that's happening. I mean, I got so much, Drew. I got more.
Go, run with it. The floor is yours, sir. Go.
The Democrats are pushing D.C. statehood up here. Now, why is D.C. statehood so radical? Because they know they would get 2 senators in the United States Senate from the District of Columbia, which would always be Democrat. They are pushing that very hard. They want to blow open the filibuster to pass D.C. statehood and to pass H.R. 1. The reason why that matters is because if they pass both of those things by blowing up the filibuster, it makes it significantly harder for Republicans to roll back all the radical things that they're doing in this Congress. I mean, what they're really trying to do, Drew, and this is why I say that they ran on saving the democracy, but they are destroying the republic, is because they are turning our republic into a mobocracy. This is just mob rule. If you have one more vote than the other guy, they are going to ram through the most radical pieces of legislation our country has ever seen. They are doing it right now on Capitol Hill.
And how are we fighting back?
We're doing it like what I'm doing right now. We're fighting back every day to try to make sure we got good people running to take back the House. We are grinding this place down to a halt. You have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we actually had a conversation on the floor where we're making them vote on everything. Like nothing's going to be easy. We're not just passing on votes anymore. We're making them vote on everything. We're just going to grind this place down. And the last part is we're actually having real conversations, and this is just where the game is right now. We need Joe Manchin. I can't even believe I'm having to say this. We need Joe Manchin in the Senate to hold the line and not blow open the filibuster.
Right.
Because if he decides to blow open the filibuster, our country is going to change. Because, Drew, what will happen is if we get back control and under these voting rules, under H.R. 1, I stress if. But if we get back control, what we're going to have to do is spend 100 days, just like the Democrats are doing right now, just unwinding everything they have done. Our country is not supposed to function like this. There's supposed to be actually debate. It's supposed to be very deliberative. We're not supposed to be changing laws all fast and loose just because we have a simple majority. And I would stress a slim majority at that. We're not supposed to be doing that because it affects the lives of the American people. The American people are the lives who are supposed to be smooth and easy. Our job up here is supposed to be super hard if we're changing stuff. Yeah. But the Democrats right now say we got 5 extra votes in the House. We have a vice president who will break ties in the Senate, and we have a president who does not make himself available and signs executive orders. So we're just doing what we want.
And that
is a travesty for our republic.
And certainly, I think people probably see what's going on right now, which is that 2022, we're in it right now, but that is just around the corner, and they're trying to do something that maybe they didn't do in the past when they did have the opportunity like they have now, which is you need to take that time right this minute and ram all these things through and get it done quickly because the American people are starting to catch on to a lot of what they're doing. They see what the kind of condition this president is in. They see the condition along our southern border. They see all of these things that are happening and promises that we were told, things that were going to happen that have not been kept. Even to the left, I think they see some of that. And time is of the essence in order to push the agenda forward. Would you agree with that?
Totally agree. You said it. Just right there.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we go, listen, let me ask you about this because locally they're talking about it, the Harmful Algal Bloom Essential Forecasting Act of 2021. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. The biggest thing we want to do up here is, and this is actually good policy, we want to make sure that Southwest Florida, and really all of South Florida, has the tools necessary to detect algae blooms before they become problems in the canals at Cape Coral or off the coast of Sanibel, or whether it be in the Indian River Lagoon over in Port St. Lucie. And so we want to make sure we have all the necessary technology to make sure we can continue to do that. And even in the event of a government shutdown and the way we're spending money, the government's going to be shut down at some point, that those activities still continue because algae does not wait for members of Congress to get their head out of their
Yeah.
Algae's going to do what algae's going to do.
Right.
And so we wanted to make sure that those tools still are available to our area, no matter what's going on up here on Capitol Hill.
All right. Good stuff. All right, my friend, keep up the fight. We know it's tough. I can hear it in your voice, and you get the passion, and I love it, and I hear it. But I also know how hard it must be. Probably things we don't even know. It's difficult to even believe is going on. But you're in it, and we appreciate you. And we'll speak to you next week, okay, my friend? All the best.
All right. Listen, thanks, Drew, man. Take it easy, everybody.
Right.
I love you guys.
All right, we'll see you soon. All right, there you go.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Rush Limbaugh. June Chu is a dean at Yale. She has a doctorate in social psychology. Her biography touts her long career helping students, not just academically, but supporting their multifaceted identities. Now, recently, Yale students stumbled upon one of Dr. Chu's multifaceted identities hidden on social media. In a review of a local restaurant, she posted, "If you are white trash, this is the perfect night out for you." The Japanese eatery was not authentic, so it was for low-class folks. After slamming a gym employee, she wrote, "I don't care if you lose your job. I'm sure McDonald's would hire you." And this one, she called local movie theater employees barely educated morons trying to manage snack orders for the obese. Well, after the Yale Daily News published her scathing reviews, students and alumni of the prestigious elitist university were horrified, supposedly. Dr. Chu deleted her social media account and apologized. She says that she's learned a lot about the power of words. She says her posts demean the values to which she holds herself. In other words, the racist, bigoted person who wrote those racist, bigoted views, that's not the real Dr. Chu. Anyone else would have been fired, but Dr. Chu won't have to apply to McDonald's because Yale placed her on leave until things cool down. That's the multifaceted identity of liberalism. You talk one.
All right, the smartest audience. Man, I hate my hair. I got my hair cut yesterday. I don't hate it. I hate my hair. I don't hate the cut. But man, it's just, it's too short. All right. Hey, listen, I need you guys to help me because we're going to ask this question on the air, but I'll give you the preview of where we're going when we come back in just a minute. And here's the question. So I was counting down to Jake. Wait, let me get the comments. All right, here we go. You ready? So in the comments section, this is what I need. So if you noticed, I was giving Jake a countdown to fire the next element so we can get out of the interview, right? So I said 3, 2, 1. Now, here's the question. When you do a 3, 2, I don't know the answer to this. I don't think there's any standard, and this is what really stinks. When you do a 3, 2, 1, I don't need that. When you do a 3, 2, 1 countdown, is it 3, 2, 1 and you go on the 1? Or is it 3, 2, 1, then you go? So is 1 go, or is there another one that's the go? Jake thinks it's 3, 2, go. Like 3, 2, 1. When you hit 1, that means go. But then there are other people that are like, no, it's 3, 2, 1. It's like the numbers are giving you the count or the rhythm to go at 0. What is it? All right, somebody said they clarified that in the movie Bad Boys? I don't remember. All right, let me get this off for a second here. Wait, hold on. Sorry, not you. That. Okay. I don't remember that. Hey, Jake, somebody said in the movie Bad Boys they clarified that. 3, 2, 1, go, or is it 3, 2, 1? Wasn't that like a fun... Yeah, that was. Like, now I seem to remember that in the original movie because they were arguing because they shot somebody or they ran and he ran at the wrong time. You don't remember that? Do you remember that? You need to find the video. You need to go to YouTube and see that part of it if it's not too cussy. Because that's been so long, I forgot. All right, so you say... All right, let's see. Yeah, Jake's too young to remember. That's true. All right, so rocket launch. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. Right. You go on go. Thank you. Yeah, you don't go on 1. 3, 2, 1, go. Like the 3, 2, 1 is the rhythm to get you in rhythm to hit go. All right, it's right. 3, 2, 1, and go. But no, wait a minute. So Ken says Jake is right. That 1 is go. Okay. Yeah. So wait. Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. Jimmy's funny because Jimmy said maybe you should have clarified that before you started the game. Right. That's what. Okay. Listen. When I say go, that's go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's 3, 2, 1, go. Not 3, 2. Wait. 1, 2, 3, go. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. It's not 3, 2, 1. Unless you say 1 is go. And then you're confusing everybody. Yeah. Yeah, you go on go. That's what I said. I don't know. Jake got confused. I'm confused. We need to have that universal. Like, we got to figure out how we're going to all get on the same page with that. All right, that's all.
Hold'em, high card flush, and more. Every Wednesday in March, win up to $1,000 every half hour from 9:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. in the high hand. Plus, check out the sports room with huge TVs carrying all major sports and personal TVs for custom viewing. Wager on horses and high alive. Plus, exciting sports promotions with huge cash prizes. While you're there, enjoy delicious food and an amazing selection of craft beers at the Brass Tap, located right inside the Bonita Springs Poker Room. Come by every Wednesday in March for your chance to win up to $1,000 every half hour. It's all at the Bonita Springs Poker Room on Bonita Beach Road, 1 mile west of I-75. Open daily at 9:30 a.m. Check out BonitaPoker.com or call 239-992-2411.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
It was more confrontational than cordial. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The first round of U.S.-China talks in the Biden administration were blunt and could be again later today in Alaska. Fox's Simon Owen has more live.
Dave, Secretary of State Antony Blinken and his Chinese counterpart traded rebukes as they met for talks in Anchorage.
Our intent is to be direct about our concerns, direct about our priorities, with the goal of a more clear-eyed relationship between our countries.
China's Foreign Affairs Chief Yang Jiechi shot back, saying U.S.-China relations are in a period of unprecedented difficulty, and he added there is no way to strangle China. The State Department says private talks that followed were serious and substantive. Dave?
Simon, what President Biden said he wanted in his first 100 days will happen in less than 60.
100 million
shots of vaccine in people's arms.
That's in addition to about 16 million COVID vaccine doses before he took office. Today, the president and Vice President Harris will go to Atlanta and visit the CDC, which is working on new guidance for school reopenings. Their other plans have changed.
Instead of holding an event touting his American Rescue Plan, President Biden and Vice President Harris will console a community in mourning after the murders of 8 people at 3 Atlanta area massage parlors.
6 of the 8 were women of Asian descent, adding to concerns over Asian bias attacks during the pandemic.
Police say the accused gunman, Robert Aaron Long, told them the attacks were not racially motivated.
That's Fox's Steve Rappaport. House Democrats say they're closing the book on what they call inhumane Trump border policies.
Today, we begin a new chapter.
Congressman Jerry Nadler, as they pass 2 bills giving paths to citizenship for immigrant farm workers and those brought here illegally as children. Republicans oppose that.
When you have a crisis at the border, the last thing you should do is make it worse.
That's GOP Congressman Steve Scalise. Republicans could block it in the Senate. America's listening. Fox News.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Wink News traffic.
Slowing traffic in Fort Myers on 6 Mile if you're heading north of Daniels. Also, Daniels very busy heading out of Lehigh to get onto the interstate. My commuters in Lehigh Acres still seeing that slow down on Jaguar heading east towards Columbus, as well as delays on Richmond south of Leland Heights. I-75 commuters, we are still good to go if you're heading to and from Lee and Collier. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. We still have a few areas of light rain lingering in Collier County, but elsewhere we are clearing out and quiet. We'll see a lot of sunshine as cooler and drier air mixes in this afternoon. High temperatures in the 70s. We keep those cooler and drier conditions all weekend long as Saturday and Sunday morning will feature overnight lows in the 50s and afternoon highs only peaking in the mid-70s too. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Plug into the power. 92.5 Fox News.
Right. All along. Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
Why wait for so-called one-time refund relief from big insurance companies when you can get the best prices and coverages all day, every day, all year round from Chapman Insurance Group? Hi, this is Brian Chapman, and my team is committed to finding you the most efficient coverage at the best rates. Give us an opportunity to quote your home, auto, business, or flood policy. I'm confident we can save you money for the same or better coverage. Visit CIGFlorida.com or call an office near you today. Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Port Charlotte, and Punta Gorda. CIGFlorida.com.
At LMCU, our roots in your community just got a little deeper with the opening of our newest branch in Estero. When you bank with us, you can earn more on your money with our Max checking account and pay less on things like home mortgages and credit cards. We're proud to open our 13th Florida location at 21910 South Tamiami Trail. Our lobbies are open, plus you can schedule an appointment or visit one of our drive-thrus for contactless service. Our branches stretch far and wide for a reason. You. LMCU. You'll love banking here. Equal housing lender, member NCUA, and NMLS number 442967.
Let Naples Shutter enhance your home's beauty and increase its value. From our legendary all-wood plantation shutters, made right here in Naples for over 40 years, to luxurious blinds and shades, to the unique island appeal of Bahama shutters, Naples Shutter has you covered with a lifetime guarantee and over 40,000 satisfied customers. Call 239-566-8161 today for a free estimate. That's 239-566-8161 or visit naplesshutter.com.
The only thing worse than hiring no law firm after your injury is hiring the wrong law firm, and there are so many of them. When thousands of people call us every year asking to help them change law firms and hire us instead, I wonder why they ever called the other firm in the first place. They were smart to switch before it was too late. You only get one day in court. You know who has the resources and results to fight to handle your claim. And the big insurance company on the other side, they know it too. they know us well. You have to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away. Walk our way. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. We are big for a reason, which is why we've recovered over $9 billion for our clients. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Got water?
In your house?
What do I do now?
Call 239-936-1033.
Call Fire Service, your disaster response friends.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. If you want to watch, streaming live, you just go to drewsteele.com. That's the website, and we are right there, right in front of your face, as you can see right now. And there's Jake. Look at Jake. Jake is he's staring at his computer right now because he's trying to study something that we talked about on the break, and it's this. Before we get to the latest from Joe Biden and the latest gaffe, which really isn't a gaffe if you really think about what the gaffe really is, and then you start to realize that it's kind of a little more truth in gaffe. We'll get to that. And also, there's a follow-up to the story we talked about yesterday about the video where Joe Biden is walking to supposedly a gaggle of reporters, and it looks like it was green screened. They green screened microphones in there to make it look like it was a real gaggle, but it looked like it was one of the worst green screen jobs you've ever seen. Remember that, Jake? Remember we were talking about that? There's a follow-up to that story. They did a fact check on it. Wait till you hear the fact check.
Oh, great.
On the fake gaggle, on the fake microphone controversy. All right, so before we went to break, we had Congressman Byron Donalds on from yesterday. We replayed the interview. And what happens is, this is a little inside baseball. So if you're ever thinking to yourself, man, I'd love to know what those guys do there during the breaks, and what they're doing is I'm watching the camera and I can't hear the audio and what's happening. So here's what's happening. On the break, before the break, I counted Jake down to when the interview was going to be done so that he can fire the next element. He can push the buttons over there, which he does so well each and every day. And he pushes the button, and then when he pushes that button, it goes to the next element on the computer, right? So I said 3, 2, 1, and Jake fires it on 1.
I did.
Right.
But I felt like I should have fired it on go.
Yes, and I said 3, 2, 1, now you fire. And it led us to this. It wasn't an argument, it was a discussion. And it wasn't heated. It wasn't like the U.S. and China heated discussions yesterday, which we're going to get to coming up. It was more like, who's right? Because shouldn't that be something that's universal? Because, man, if NASA is trying to land a rover on Mars and we all have to fire the button at 3, 2, 1, the countdown, and half the place thinks it's 1 and the other half thinks it's go, then the Mars rover is shooting off into Uranus or wherever it goes, to some other place.
Well, the reason why I thought is because, if I was to do a street race, allegedly do a street race, not that I've ever done one or anything like that, you go on the third beep, right? So if you're doing a roll and go.
Or if you're playing a video game, let's make it in your universe. You're playing a video game like you're doing Mario Kart 75. Okay, you're doing Mario Kart 75 and you hear beep, 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 right? It's 4 beeps.
You even made it sound like you wanted to go on the third.
Right, so I'm saying, do you go on 1 or do you go on, or is there an extra one? So it's really not 3, 2, 1. It's more like 4, 3, 2, 1. And 1 is... If you were to, maybe that's the logic. It's 1, if 1 would be go if it was 4, but it's actually 3 and it's go.
I think we're upsetting people.
239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. I know the text line, people are getting angry. Oh, we got some angry people on this Jake Day. It's Friday. Come on, be happy. Listen, all right, I need to cheer people up. I get it. You need something else. You need a little something this morning. You need something to wake you up. All right, let's give it to them right now. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's your morning cup of Joe.
Sit back with your morning cup of Joe.
Not a joke. Now, when President Harris and I took a virtual tour of a vaccination center in Arizona not long ago, one of the nurses on that tour
said, hey, are you the president or is she the president? Oh, there you go. Is that what the nurse said? I'm just kind of filling in the blank. I don't know what he said after that. But there's Joe Biden saying... Now,
when President Harris and I...
Oh, man. So there you go, everybody. It's President Harris and I. It's on the teleprompter. Like he's reading it. It's... Maybe they need to make the word vice bigger. Is that all it is? Maybe it needs to be bigger fonts for vice and then little fonts for president. Is that what we need?
Judge my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
All right, there's nothing to worry about. Everything's fine, everybody. We're safe and we're under control because 874 million people in this country voted for Joe Biden. We're good. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. It's just another slip. And speaking of slips or fact checks, hey, no problem, everybody. We've got Twitter on the scene, and Twitter knows, and according to Twitter, a fact check was done on that video of Joe Biden talking to the press yesterday. A lot of people were joking, how could you put this out there? It clearly was, and if you've watched the video of Joe Biden walking to what we're told is a gaggle of reporters, there, the lawn of the, what is it? I don't know where it was in the White House.
Conveniently placed, I might have.
Yeah, weird, right? And everybody's like, this is so fake. It's a green screen. Well, no, they fact check it, and the results of the fact check are in. Here you go. Fact check. Video of Joe Biden talking to press on White House lawn does not reveal a green screen fail. They're trying to tell us, according to the BBC and Media Matters, that no. He walked up to reporters. He was there on the White House lawn. What did I say? The West lawn? The White House lawn. And yeah, no, it wasn't a green screen. It was legit, everybody. That it wasn't a fail. It wasn't deceptively edited. Does that...
what was it? What was it then? Is he transparent? Is the microphone transparent? Can someone please describe to me what had occurred
If you've watched the video, you know. It's so obvious that it's photoshopped or green screen, or however you want to put it. It's fake. But they're telling us that it's not fake and you need to stop. And the other thing they're saying is, well, Jake, hold on a second. There were other reporters there. Why didn't the other reporters? Why didn't the gaggle of reporters? I mean, there were so many there. Why didn't they say anything? Why hasn't somebody exposed this? Like there weren't any microphones or there weren't any furry microphones. Okay, number one, we're supposed to believe that there's media out there that would say something negative against the president of the United States. Joe Biden, really? That is a joke, right?
Not a joke.
No, it's not a joke. And then the second part is people have been saying, well, there were only two people there. There may have only been one guy there that was talking, or just a couple of people. And they have no desire to call him, I don't know. But the fact that they had to do a fact check on something that clearly looks fake, just, well, you know what they're saying. It's you conspiracy theory. You're a bunch of QAnon people. That's all you are. You're just a bunch of QAnons. Every single one of you, even though you could walk down the street and say, you know what QAnon is? And people are like, I have no idea. No idea what you're talking about. So there you go. So there's that. But we don't want to distract from the real important stories, do we? It almost feels like they would love for you to focus on the claim of a Photoshop video as opposed to some of the real issues that Joe Biden has going on right now, including two very important issues. One is the fact that there's a crisis along our southern border, that we have people in the United States government right now who want you to believe that everything is fine. There's nothing to see here. Move along. By the way, Biden's DHS secretary was telling CBS News yesterday morning that if loving parents send their children alone to the U.S.-Mexico border, that the Biden administration will not only not expel the children, but they'll care for the children as well. So nothing to worry about. Everything's fine, right?
I cannot begin to imagine the difficult decision that these families are making. And if you say to them this morning, do not come, the next question is going to be, how long do I wait? And what am I waiting for? Is there going to come a moment where you say, okay, now's the time?
Isn't that interesting? That we're telling people not to come, but we're not telling people not to come. Don't come right now. We want you to wait. As we've talked about before, the surge along the border is clearly what it is, which is an open invite by the Biden administration that clearly people know about. We brought that up just the other day, that even during the primaries, it was Joe Biden who was saying, listen, we expect there to be a surge along the border. We want people to come here. And, oh, by the way, it's not don't come at all. It's just that, listen, we've got to get the whole catch and release program back online because it was the former president that took it offline. We got to get all that back online and get that all set and ready to go so that when you do come across, off you go. Everything's fine. We don't have to load people up along the border. That's the big problem because, man, that's an ugly PR move right there. If you start to see people in cages and tents, that is not a good look. And so wait. Don't do that yet. But there's a CBS yesterday morning who's talking to DHS Secretary Mayorkas and saying, oh, man, it's got to be difficult. I mean, it's hard enough that these parents are letting their kids go on their own, which you question a lot of things about that. Number one, you do realize that there are coyotes that are using the stories are horrific when it comes to what's going on with these kids and whether or not these children when they say they're with their parents, that they have to identify whether or not those are their parents. And a lot of times it's not. And some of the horrific things that are going on and the concerns about the children and their safety. But what's the answer there? What do you do? What do you tell the parents?
In weeks, in several months, we will expand the legal processes that we already have started to rebuild.
See, the legal process is starting to rebuild. That's the catch and release, rebuilding that up again.
Already have reinstituted the Central American Minors Program that was built in the Obama-Biden administration and that was torn down by the prior administration. But we well understand that out of desperation, some children might not wait. Some loving parents might send their child to traverse Mexico alone to reach the southern border, our southern border. I hope they don't undertake that perilous journey, but if they do, we will not expel that young child. We will care for that young child and unite that child with a responsible parent.
There you go. All right, everybody. We'll reunite them with a responsible parent. That sure sounds like come to the border, doesn't it? That sure sounds like listen, we don't think you should, but if you do, no problem. We're going to take care of you. You're opening it up. What do you think that is? And then on top of that, you've got Joe Biden, who has been triggering this border surge from early on. Again, can I remind you, and I got to see if I can find the audio. Do I have that audio? I don't know if I have that audio or not. I thought yeah, here it is. Remember, it wasn't too long ago, Joe Biden said,
what I would do as president is several more things, because things have changed. I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are.
Yep, surge to the border. That's who we are. It's okay. Surge to the border. He called for it. So now the other thing that's going on is that the Biden administration is doing a gag order right now, has a gag order on the Border Patrol. They won't let the Border Patrol talk to the media. Border Patrol staff, according to NBC News, have been told to refer all media requests, even those from local outlets, to Customs and Border Patrol staffers in Washington, and to deny all ride-along requests. Sorry, can't get that information out. Can't have any inspections in facilities. Can't have any interviews. No ride-alongs. Nope, can't let you know exactly what's going on. We're going to let you guess. That's a problem, isn't it? Well, not if you're the most transparent administration in the history of mankind, which they're not. That's one part of it. And then the other part of it, when we're talking about the Biden administration and along the border, and not only that issue, but we're also talking about U.S.-China relations as well. and how that started off yesterday, and how everybody across the board is calling this fireworks. How else do you want to say it? The clash of U.S. and Chinese diplomats, high-level meetings of the Biden administration. And let's just put it this way. China has already made a decision about what they think of the United States with this administration. Because I guarantee you, I promise you, that China was not talking about the Trump administration in this way to their face. The first high-level talks between the U.S. and China since President Biden took office immediately descended into bickering and recriminations, illustrating the deep divide that remains despite the change in the White House. Okay, so there they are in Alaska. You got U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, and he wants to talk tough to China. Okay, tough talk at China, and he says,
we'll also discuss our deep concerns with actions by China, including in Xinjiang, Hong Kong, Taiwan, cyber attacks on the United States, economic coercion toward our allies. Each of these actions threaten the rules-based order that maintains global stability.
Okay, so he's like, listen, it's we're going to talk about all of these things that we've got a problem with, and we're going to talk tough. And again, I want you to think back to the former administration, the administration of Donald Trump, and I want you to ask yourself if this kind of talk would have happened during the Trump administration. So Anthony Blinken says, listen, we're gonna ask all these questions about all of these things, Hong Kong and the like, and we've got questions to ask. And so you have the answer. Here's the answer from China.
Well, you can't blame this problem on somebody else.
I have to tell you, what I'm hearing...
So you can't blame it on somebody else. And then what he says is Blinken comes back and says, what I hear is what?
...is very different from what you described. I'm hearing deep satisfaction that the United States is back, that we're re-engaged with our allies and partners. I'm also hearing deep concern about some of the actions your government is taking.
So he's saying, well, you're just upset because we're back and we're talking to our allies. All the things that we weren't doing during the Trump administration, and we're back to business as usual, right? We're going back to the Obama-Biden years. We're going back to that kind of political environment and atmosphere. And the answer from the Communist Party's Politburo, a member of the Politburo there, fires back and says,
well,
I think we thought too well of the United States. We thought that the U.S. side will follow the necessary diplomatic protocols. So for China, it was necessary that we make our position clear. So let me say here that in front of the Chinese side, the United States does not have the qualification to say that it wants to speak to China from a position of strength.
We'll also discuss.
Ouch. Basically, China's saying, you don't talk to us like that, and you don't have a position of strength to speak to us that way. That's how things were going. That was the discussion yesterday. And again, I ask you, and not only did it go from there, it went to other places as well that we're going to get to in just a bit. Going after the country, the United States, this administration. Do you honestly think that the conversation would have been that way with Donald Trump as president of the United States? Let's just say that China doesn't respect us now. Certain people were saying that this administration, Blinken, completely outclassed, embarrassing, brutal takedown of this administration, the way they're talking to us. And again, why are they doing that? Why is China talking to us this way? They're not impressed, and they don't respect this administration. Just putting it out there that that's what people are saying. That's what people heard yesterday, where the media is like, man, it was a clash of the Titans. No, it wasn't a clash. It was more like being outclassed. And it's hard to believe. And it's hard to hear. 239-479-5592. Maybe your thoughts on that coming up. All right, we're going to get to some calls. I see a lot of them coming in on this Friday, Jake Day. And if you want to watch, drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's. That is the website if you want to check it out. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Drive the lefties at work crazy with the facts. Get up to speed mornings with Drew Steele. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Guys, more candles on the cake means less testosterone in the tank. But we can turn this back into this.
Oh, yeah.
You just need a tune-up.
In men, low testosterone can lead to muscle loss, extra body fat, fatigue, depression, and erectile dysfunction. Suboptimal hormone levels are associated with the development of disease states like osteoporosis, heart disease, and stroke. At Neogenics, we specialize in testosterone, growth hormone promoters, bioidentical hormones, and nutritional programs designed to correct these imbalances and make you feel revitalized. See why patients from across the country are coming to Neogenics and take the first step to feeling great again. Call Neogenics for a free consultation at 277-9999 or find us online at neogenicmd.com. That's 277-9999. neogenicmd.com. Neogenics, rediscover your youth. 277-9999.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment, we've got you covered.
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for a patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America.
NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
Chevy sales desk, this is Marty.
Marty!
Yeah?
Everyone's getting lucky at Victory Lane Chevrolet.
And what, I'm getting lucky too?
Oh, no, Marty, you've never been lucky in your life, especially in high school.
All right.
I'm the Lucky Charm, saving customers a pot of gold on new Victory Lane Chevys.
Oh, yeah, so you're the magic leprechaun here, huh?
No, Marty, you're the only one conning your customers. He hung up. Gulf Coast, it's time to get lucky at Victory Lane Chevrolet. Shipments of new 2021 Chevys are arriving daily. Be first in line to save thousands. Plus, get our gigantic cash allowance for any trade. Get lucky now. Find new roads with hundreds of vehicles to choose from. New 2021 Chevy Silverados with savings up to $9,000 off MSRP. All new electric Chevy Bolt up to $15,000 off MSRP. Need credit? Lucky you. Our goal is 100% credit approval at Victory Lane Chevrolet on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Online at victorylanechevrolet.com. Stock number S1156 and W1002. Price plus taxes and fees. All rebates to dealers. Silverado offer for current lessees. Bold for current Costco members. Offers do not combine. Expires 3/31/2021.
I'm Stuart Duncan from Duncan's Diamonds, and I want to be sure you're given the best prices on fine jewelry and diamonds. Other jewelers don't like me. Why? Because we offer better prices and a superior experience. If you go to Tiffany's, you're going to get a great product, but pay 2 to 3 times what it's really worth. If you go to a chain store, you're going to get something that's really cheap and bad quality. Don't settle for high prices, low quality, and a bad experience. Buy real jewelry from me, Stuart Duncan, a real jeweler. The love of your life will really be proud to know that their diamond came from Duncan's Diamonds. Your true love deserves the best. And at Duncan's Diamonds, we will not be undersold by anyone, anytime, anywhere, and I will make sure that you can count on it. Duncan's Diamonds. It's worth the drive for the best prices on diamonds and fine jewelry. Come to one of our 3 beautiful locations. US 41, Gulf Coast Town Center, Naples at Mercado.
What makes Genesis of Naples the #1 selling Genesis dealer in the nation? It's our incredible selection and professional sales staff. Hi, I'm Sheila Zellers, owner of Genesis of Naples. When I drive my beautiful new 2021 Genesis GV80 around town, the first thing everyone says to me is, what is that beautiful SUV? I tell them it's the all-new first ever SUV from Genesis. Then they usually ask, how much does it cost? I know it's hard to believe, but it starts at just $49,500 and the fully equipped Prestige Prestige for just over $70,000. It has an amazing interior and breathtaking design and your choice of turbo engines in rear and all-wheel drive. But that's not all. New 2021 Genesis G70s have 0% financing and 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. And we have a huge selection of the all-new 2021 Genesis G80s and G90s. Come visit Genesis of Naples on Airport Road or genesisofnaples.com.
All offers with approved credit on select models based on January 2021 retail sales. 72 months and $0 per month per 1,000 finance. No down payment required.
The Mega Mall meat sale in Fort Myers and Port Charlotte right now for a limited time. Hurry now. 20 ribeyes for $30. EBT, credit cards, debit cards, all payments accepted. Last chance to compare 5-star steaks to Omaha Steak Box steak deals and save on the ribeyes. 20 ribeyes for $30. Look for the big tent at Edison Mall at the Cleveland Road entrance. Also look for the big truck at the Port Charlotte Town Center in the JCPenney parking lot behind Red Lobster. Also on the big truck, crazy deals on premium steak, pork, seafood, and gourmet chicken breast. Everything must go. It's a truckload meat mania sale. Look for the big tent at the Edison Mall at the Cleveland Road entrance. Also look for the big truck at the Port Charlotte Town Center in the JCPenney parking lot behind Red Lobster. Crazy deals on Kansas City strips, fillets, bacon wrap fillets, mega ribeyes, and get 20 ribeyes for $30. The Mega Mall meat sale going on now at Edison Mall in Port Charlotte Town Center. Don't wait.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News traffic.
There's a crash in Collier on Immokalee Road at the intersection of Shark Way. This is in front of Gulf Coast High. Luckily, traffic is not majorly backed up right now. That is always some good news. But we do have a road closure from a deadly crash. This is at Veterans Boulevard and Atwater. Now, this is in Charlotte County, and it is shutting down Veterans between Yorkshire and Cochrane Boulevard. A great way to navigate around the closure, Peachland. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. We still have a few areas of light rain lingering in Collier County, but elsewhere we are clearing out and quiet. We'll see a lot of sunshine as cooler and drier air mixes in this afternoon. High temperatures in the 70s. We keep those cooler and drier conditions all weekend long as Saturday and Sunday morning will feature overnight lows in the 50s and afternoon highs only peaking in the mid-70s too. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Blah, 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 blah. Gear up for the liberal loudmouths at work. Drew Steele, mornings on 92.5 Fox News.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom, too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
Hot out today, huh?
You know it.
Glad the AC's working.
No kidding.
What if the AC quit?
Oh, man. Couldn't do a thing inside then.
Too hot.
No way Ashley could do her homework in here.
Hard to concentrate.
Wouldn't even bother trying to study.
Well...
Of course, her grades would slip.
Dave.
She could kiss Harvard goodbye.
Dave.
Probably end up at the U. Oh, my little girl.
Dave.
What?
What's the best case scenario?
Best case? Okay, best case, I make one call, AC's back up and running right away, everything's fine.
That's best?
Oh, sure, but...
That's best. Best Home Services. They have 4 AC trucks standing by waiting for you to call, loaded with parts, ready to go.
Right now?
Right now.
Huh. Sure is hot out today.
GetBest.com. When something goes wrong, we're waiting.
So you're saying...
She can still go to Harvard.
Hey, it's Drew Steele visiting with my friend TJ, owner of the Floormeisters in Naples, where if you're talking Core-Tech, you're talking Floormeisters. And the one thing that I love, TJ, is when we're talking about pricing, you got to be straight up with the pricing, right?
Yep, we buy more Core-Tech every day so we can sell it to you cheaper. I buy it by the pallet, by the truckload, so you're making sure you always get the lowest price possible. We keep it here in our 15,000 square foot store. Big selection, big, beautiful showroom to make sure your wife gets exactly what you want, Drew.
Yeah, and how about me? You know, I like to get what I want as well. And also, of course, the color selection, right? You got some new ones.
Got 100 colors right now, and we're adding about 10 to 15 from Core-Tech that just came out for 2021.
So you want to see it for yourself? Go to the Floormeisters. You're going to really love it. 6281 Naples Boulevard next to Costco. Give them a call, 239-596-4964, or on the web at floormeisters.com.
I'm Harvey Massey. Where we live, there are several types of termites, and they can all cause damage to your home. Subterranean termites invade from colonies below the ground, while drywood termites fly in and infest exposed wood in your home. Both require different treatments. That's why you need Massey's Total Coverage Termite Protection. Our guarantee covers all types of termites and includes coverage for retreatment and repair of any new damage. That's Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
When it comes to protecting our family from COVID, my wife and I are on it.
Yeah, and our son loves the outdoors, which is great for all of us.
So we're experts at things like social distancing in the park.
And you won't see us hanging out indoors with our friends.
But now there are new forms of the virus, and they're spreading quickly. So we started wondering, are we doing enough?
Turns out, we are.
Hey, look, as long as your mask fits well, it still helps protect against the new forms of the virus, too.
Yeah, giving people at least 6 feet of space, that still works.
And avoiding crowds cuts our risk of exposure even more. We'll get vaccinated when it's our turn. But now's not the time to let our guard down.
Not even a bit. It's how we're helping protect our family. And yours too.
We can do this. Learn more at cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm David Honeymeyer, COO of Seminole Gaming. At Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, our Safe and Sound program was developed with data and facts from local, national, and global authorities and industry councils. Safe and Sound means stringent sanitary protocols, plus our clean team in their bright yellow shirts. You'll see them cleaning and sanitizing common areas and high-touch surfaces. We remain committed and dedicated, the safe bet to keep you safe and sound. We're ready when you are for some good, clean fun.
If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
He went to arguing and yelling at me. He went to pushing the door on my arm as I'm giving the bag to his friend. And I'm like, sir, why is you doing this? Oh, y'all was taking too long with my food. I don't know what y'all was in there doing. Over 6 McChicken and a large fry that was not called for.
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? A 21-year-old guy, and where was this in Florida? I hate to say it was another Florida story, but yeah, okay, it was in Davie. So this 21-year-old guy goes to McDonald's and he orders 6 chicken McNugget sandwiches. It took too long, so he attacked the employee because of how long it was taking. Can we stop doing that? That and making it Florida stories, because there's too many weird Florida stories going on. I don't even know if I want to mention the one Florida story that I talked about with, I talked with Jake about this, because it's sad, because ultimately the person died from this. But, okay, I'll mention it anyway, and then we'll move on. Should I mention the story, Jake? What do you think? Should I talk about the guy on the bike? I mean, it happened. It's just...
Yeah.
Because I think in this world, I think too many people, maybe this has to do with the virtual world that so many people live in, like Jake, who's constantly in a virtual world.
Yeah, I can't get out.
An avid cyclist from Miami died because he tried to beat an opening drawbridge over the Miami River. He got to the drawbridge, which connects Brickell and downtown Miami at 6 a.m. It started to open, and he thought he could beat the bridge and tried to do like a Starsky and Hutch over the bridge, I guess, with his bike. And he couldn't make it across. And I, you know, and there's so many things to the story, right? The first thing is, it's already scary enough when you go over drawbridges anyway. Isn't it always scary? For example, it's kind of that's not scary. It's just creepy. Like when you go over, if you're on 31, right? Babcock Ranch Road is what they call it now, 31 in North Fort Myers, and they have the on 31 they've got a drawbridge right there, and it's graded. You know, drawbridges are graded, so it's always that kind of thing. If you walked on the bridge and you look down, it's like, oh, that's. If you're somebody who doesn't like heights and you're thinking that you're walking on it, it's already graded, and you're looking through. All right.
But if the bridge is opening, like, what would give you the idea that you could make it? And why are you in such a hurry? You know, I don't know if he was going to work. I don't know what he was doing, but no matter what, you don't rush. You don't do it. And the second thing is, and I'm just being serious, and this is serious because someone passed away, but I'm being serious about this topic quickly, and then we're going to move on. And maybe, Jake, you can explain this to me because you're a millennial, and I think that a lot of millennials do this kind of thing. Millennials, you guys have, I mean, this person was 58 years old, so I don't know why they were doing this, but I think that maybe not millennials, everybody. I think sometimes there are individuals, not everybody. Okay, I'm going, hold on a second. Maybe I should move on. I think that there are people who really don't or misjudge or misunderstand the laws of gravity. In other words, if you pull up the handlebars on your bike, it doesn't mean you fly, like Starsky and Hutch. And I think that there are people sometimes that think that, you know, just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. You know, the General Lee, which is, I guess that's racist now. We can't even do that. That's a whole other, right? Flying over in the car, like constantly flying over things on the Dukes of Hazzard, or like Starsky and Hutch, or you see the movies, or you see, well, not E.T., that's a bad example. But you know what I'm saying? The bicycles, and people think that the laws of gravity, where if you think you have, by lifting a handlebar and going fast, if you think you have 2 or 3 feet of guidance there after the fact, yeah, that's a bad, that doesn't, it's just the laws of gravity work and it's just plop downward. And it's unfortunate. It's horrible that this person lost their life, but I don't understand why they thought they could beat that bridge. It's just, it's awful. Don't do it. All right, there I said it. 239-479-5592. So no, it's unfortunate. There's nothing worth taking that kind of risk to hurry up to do that, even when you're driving. All right. Let's get to some other stories that we wanted to touch on this morning that are not so awful. Gosh, do I want to wait till later for this story? No, I'll do it now. You know, we're trying to find some positives in the 2020 election and some numbers that, you know, if you're worried about election integrity, you should be. If you have questions about election integrity, you should continue to have them. If there are some states that are going to continue to fight over the 2020 election and what we saw and mail-in ballots and chain of custody in places like Georgia where there's 400,000 ballots that nobody knows where they came from and nobody's claiming them and we don't know who they are and we don't know anything about it, but everything was great in Georgia. Don't you worry. We have questions. And you should continue to have questions. Can't let people tell you, oh, you got to be over it. You're one of those, you're QAnon. That's what it is now. You're just Q. What? Okay, whatever. I'm not going to stop talking about those that care about election integrity because it's the foundation of our constitutional republic. And if we don't have the belief in the integrity of the election, we're in trouble. And also, not only that, but the fight against wokeness and others telling you who you are and who you are not and trying to live by, and you have to live by their rules. And if you don't live by their rules, there will be consequences. We talked about yesterday, I think we talked yesterday about Loudoun County in Virginia, where there was a 600 and some odd person Facebook group that was willing to call out and dox and find individuals who had problems with critical race theory being taught in the schools in Loudoun County. And if we found out who you were, we were going to spend money to destroy you, to destroy your life and everything about you, and to humiliate and call you out because you're against it. Like, it's our way, period. There are no discussions to be had about critical race theory, well, except here in the state of Florida. And we thank God every day for good governorship and people who understand liberty and freedom and the Constitution and care about the citizens of a state and don't want to destroy it. And Governor DeSantis yesterday, who was talking about that specifically, or the day before, talking about critical race theory. And listen, we're not going to have any money going towards that, not in our schools. And then I asked the question, of course, whether or not you know of of certain individuals in districts, school board members who have no problem with critical race theory being taught in our schools and how damaging that is. And why do they agree with that? And why do they think it's a good idea? And I'm not blaming every teacher, and I'm not saying every teacher in Southwest Florida is this way, but I want to know why you would be if you are. I want you to be identified as somebody who is into and wants to teach critical race theory to our kids, because I want you to explain why. Not because I want to cause any problems or anything like that, but I do want to know. I mean, you certainly want to know those that are against it. I'd like to know if that's you, because I have questions. Unless you don't want to have that back and forth conversation. But there was an article in The Federalist that I thought was pretty interesting. It says how woke whites are turning minorities into Republican voters. Well, what? Upper-class whites have alienated African Americans and Hispanics from the Democrat coalition. That's why Democrats have gone berserk. They're expecting to lose in 2022 and 2024. Wait a minute, really? So you're telling me there is a little bit of good news out there if you are a conservative, if you are a Republican, if you're somebody who's looking at wokeness and saying this has to stop? And when does it stop? And do people see what we see? And they do. The New York Times writes that Democrats are worried, very worried. This is the New York Times, everybody, that they're saying Democrats are very worried about the future of Hispanic votes. Something's up when they're saying it. And as it turns out, the radicalized woke, quote unquote, among upper class whites have done a good job alienating both African Americans and Hispanics from the Democrat coalition. Well, in the Times, they're talking about how conservative Hispanics shifted by a whopping 50 points over 8 years. Democrats won these voters by a 10-point margin in 2012, but they lost them by 40 percentage points last year. Conservative African Americans likewise showed migration away from Democrats. While African American votes moved away from Democrats on a smaller scale, the party's dependence on winning the vast majority of Hispanic and African American votes to achieve electoral success makes any migration away from Democrats by minority populations a cause for alarm. A separate interview that somebody did, a lefty named David Shore, reinforced these views. He put out there, while the Democrat vote increased by 7 percentage points among white college graduates in 2020, the party's support among African Americans dropped by 1 to 2 percentage points. Among Hispanics, dropped by 8 to 9 points, and as much as 14 to 15 points in areas like South Florida. And we heard about that in 2020, that big shift, that big change. And among Asian Americans by roughly 5 points. And Shore noted that, quote, I don't think a lot of people expected Donald Trump's GOP to have a much more diverse support base than Mitt Romney's did in 2012, but that's exactly what happened. And he wrote this, and again, this is very interesting because the left is catching on to this. They're starting to see this. This is very, very real with an elections that 2022, the Democrats see right now. And there's a lead to all of this. There's a point to all of this that I'm going to get to in just a second. As Shore writes, as Democrats have traded non-college educated voters for college educated ones, white liberals' share of voice and clout in the Democrat Party has gone up. And since white voters are sorting on ideology more than non-white voters, we've ended up in a situation where white liberals are more left-wing than black and Hispanic Democrats on pretty much every issue. Listen to this. This is a lefty that's talking about this. That in a situation where white liberals are more left-wing than black and Hispanic Democrats on pretty much every issue, that's where we are right now. Taxes, healthcare, policing, and even on racial issues or various measures of racial resentment. So as white liberals increasingly define the party's image and messaging, that's going to turn off non-white conservative Democrats and push them against us. What he's saying is something that is so critical here, and it's this. The woke group, the woke crowd, has been taken over by a largely woke white voice that is so radical in their thinking and their thoughts in the Democrat Party that there are Democrats that are looking black and Hispanic Democrat voters and going, that's not me. You all are just, you're getting crazy now. And we need to go someplace away from you. And on the issues that should be most important to everybody, like clearly the woke left does not care, the white woke left doesn't care when it comes to think about it, taxes and healthcare and policing. I mean, policing, right? You got to defund police departments. Taxes, let's go after the super rich, the ultra uber rich, and and corporations. That's where we've got to go. And ultimately, it's all of us that get hurt because those corporations are people, and they find ways to pass it on to you. That's what they do. They get the benefits from the federal government, the Democrats in the federal government that give them the bennies so that they can make sure that they can get all of that done. And on healthcare and on racial issues, they're like, we're not where you are. And so what they've done is they've taken a look at the Republican Party and said, well, hold on a second. You do sound as if you and I are on the same page with these issues. I think we can talk. I think we can take another examination of the Republican Party. And that's what happened. And that's what's been happening. And I'm just telling you a little good news here. And the lead of the story is this. As you've got woke whites turning the minorities in the Democrat Party into Republican voters, 2022 is now. The thoughts about 2022 are happening right now. 2024 is just around the corner. All of this. And Democrats have to get all of these radical policies done now. They've got to push them through. Hurry, 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 because they know what's coming. And even with the issues of 2020, they still understand what's coming because they can't afford to lose anyone. Anyone. All right, 239-479-5592. Let's do Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD today. Caller number 9. We've been getting a ton of calls, so let's go to number 9 today at 239-479-5592. Give you some time to call and play Drew's College next. You could watch all of it happening at drewsteele.com. It's mobile friendly, so you can watch right now. Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Searching everywhere for great prices on appliances? No, you're not, because you have better things to do. Besides, Good Deals has it for less, and they have plenty of items in stock despite shortages everywhere else. Remember, Good Deals guarantees the lowest price on everything they sell. Find a lower price anywhere, and Jay will beat it, guaranteed. Visit one of the showrooms in Fort Myers, Naples, and Cape Coral, or shop online at GoodDealsAppliances.com.
Good Deals Appliances. Have we got a deal for you?
Papa announcing our newest snowbird protection plan. If you leave Florida each year, we can take care of your roof while you are away. If you leave and later discover you have a roof problem, simply notify us and we can fix it while you're gone. We will send you before and after pictures, and you can pay us by credit card. As always, we offer our free tile roof inspection. If we find needed repairs, we'll make it affordable. We have 2 warehouses filled with the obsolete tiles, and likely we can make a matching replacement to make your roof tile look new and clean. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, we thank all of you for supporting our family business for over 30 years. My sons have adopted my old-fashioned ideas: be honest, do a good job, make the customer happy. Our phone number is easy to remember. It's just 4 numbers, 945-2700. That's 945-2700. Area code 239-945-2700. License number CCC 132-6213.
Want to make your home a more comfortable place but don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. When you turn to your Carrier expert, they'll show you our full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems and help you pick the one that best fits into your home budget. Because in this economy, who couldn't use a little more comfort? Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Visit Accurate Comfort Services online at AccurateComfortServices.com today. License number CMC 057023.
True relief for back and neck pain. In my office, Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, every day I talk with patients that for so many years just suffered with back or neck pain. Many just assuming that it was normal or something they had to live with. They'd tried injections, epidurals, or even surgery with no success, always looking for a chair to relieve pain or always dreading pain while sleeping or getting out of bed. It's time to treat the root of the problem. Please don't think there are no other options. You can overcome problems from sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, bulging degenerative discs, or scoliosis. Non-surgical spinal decompression can change your life. Think of how much happier you'd be without pain. This Medicare-friendly treatment combines science and technology to offer a state-of-the-art, non-surgical procedure that is remarkably effective. We always offer a free telephone consultation and free x-rays to see if you're a candidate for spinal decompression. Johnston Spinal Care, we're here for you. Call 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, let's go to Earl. Earl's in South Carolina. Hi, Earl.
Good morning, Drew. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Earl. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD or associate's degree question, sir. Starts right now. Hey, do you remember Mitt Romney won the GOP nominee for president in 2012? Remember that?
Vaguely, yes.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, if you vaguely remember that, do you remember who his running mate was?
That's what I was trying to think.
Oh, boy. Let's think.
No.
It was Romney.
No.
Starts with the letter R.
It's not there. I'm sorry, Drew. I feel really awful.
Oh, no, don't feel awful. Just be the same fantastic person you always been. It's Paul Ryan. Remember Paul Ryan?
Yes.
It's easily forgettable. The name, the person, the time period, that whole situation. All right. Well, don't worry about it. Let's move on to this question. Hopefully a lot easier. What's the supreme law of the land? What is the supreme law of the land here in the United States?
What, you mean like Bill of Rights?
What, the supreme law of land is the Constitution. He said it. He said it.
Okay.
He said it.
Yes.
Jake gives you a ding. All right.
Okay.
So you got an associate's. We'll see if we get a bachelor's on this very question. The Star Spangled Banner. You know it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who wrote it?
Stephen Foster?
No, it's Francis Scott Key.
Francis Scott Key.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well.
No, that's okay. All right. Let's see if you the bachelor's degree. Let's try this question. All right. How about the island in the upper New York Bay? Immigrants would enter the United States from 1892.
Ellis.
What is it?
Ellis Island.
Oh, you knew that
Ellis
one.
Island.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. Good comeback. Congratulations there, Earl in South Carolina. You got yourself a bachelor's degree today on Drew's College. And a lot of apologies. Listen, apologies aren't necessary. Maybe you're driving. Are you driving?
I am. I'm driving from work home. I work night shift at the hospital.
See, that's what you're tired. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You're exhausted. And, trying to get those, the brain, the things going. You don't, just maybe a little more coffee. And you'll be fine. And soon you'll be sleeping, right? You're gonna go take a nap.
I am. I enjoy listening to you all the time as much as I can in the mornings, as well as your counterpart Trey in the afternoon.
Well, we appreciate that.
Glad you guys are out there.
Well, we are, and we appreciate you being out there as well. Thank you for what you do, and drive safe. Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Have a great day.
Back at you there in South Carolina. All right.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
I cannot tell you how awesome it is when my family comes over and I say, you're going to get great tasting water straight from your faucet. I'm telling you, it's great on your skin, your hair, and your appliances. Think of what your water's doing now. Well, you should call now for your free multi-point Pentair water test. And I'm telling you, you're going to love the way your water tastes with your new Pentair water system. Every faucet in your house, it's the coolest thing ever. And there's a big difference when you call a Pentair water specialist. When you give Max a call at Pentair, trained, uniformed experts in our city and well water, that's a big deal, right? With their mobile showroom, you're wondering what you're going to get. A wide range of water treatment options, and you can see them in front of you. They install your new Pentair water system for you, and the big news right now is Pentair has a new Easy Flow under-counter filtration system. It is certified to reduce 99% of lead. Call now for your free water test, and right now save 15% on your whole home water system like I have in my house. With Pentair, never any sales pressure, so call them, 239-880-7799, or book online at PelicanWestFL.com.
Have enough doses.
For every adult American,
by the end of May.
Today, the vice president will join President Biden going to Atlanta to visit the CDC, which is working on new guidance to reopen still closed schools. Then they'll shift their focus. Fox's Tanya J. Powers explains live.
Dave, instead of holding a political rally to celebrate the coronavirus relief bill that had been planned, the president and vice president will meet with Georgia Asian American leaders at Emory University prior to President Biden's remarks. They're expected to discuss the ongoing threats and violence against the Asian American community. The visit follows the murders of 8 people, 6 of whom were women of Asian descent at spas in the Atlanta metro area. Yesterday, President Biden ordered flags on U.S. government grounds to be flown at half-staff in respect to those who were killed. Dave.
The first U.S.-China talks for new Secretary of State Antony Blinken continue today in Alaska after round 1 got tense. He called out China for human rights abuses, crackdowns in Hong Kong, and cyber attacks.
Each of these actions threaten the rules-based order that maintains global stability.
A Chinese diplomat countered we should stop pushing our democracy on the world, and black Americans are being slaughtered.
It ended up being a no-holds-barred exchange with, frankly, all diplomatic niceties thrown right out the window, each side airing its grievances about the other.
That's Fox's Amy Kellogg. House Democrats passed 2 bills giving a path to citizenship for those brought here illegally as kids and some immigrant farm workers. Most Republicans are opposed and could block passage in the Senate. America's listening to Fox News.
It was very important.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News update is presented by New South Window Solutions. Find them online at newsouthwindow.com.
Wink News traffic.
There's a crash in Collier on Immokalee Road at the intersection of Shark Way. This is in front of Gulf Coast High. Luckily, traffic is not majorly backed up right now. That is always some good news. But we do have a road closure from a deadly crash. This is at Veterans Boulevard and Atwater. Now, this is in Charlotte County, and it is shutting down Veterans between Yorkshire and Cochrane Boulevard. A great way to navigate around the closure, Peachland. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. We still have a few areas of light rain lingering in Collier County, but elsewhere we are clearing out and quiet. We'll see a lot of sunshine as cooler and drier air mixes in this afternoon. High temperatures in the 70s. We keep those cooler and drier conditions all weekend long as Saturday and Sunday morning will feature overnight lows in the 50s and afternoon highs only peaking in the mid-70s too. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
92.5 Fox News, making Southwest Florida great every day. 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. At New South, we are determined to build the best Florida window. Energy-efficient windows that stand up to heat and hurricanes. We call it the ultimate Florida window. Factory direct and guaranteed for life. New South has installed tens of thousands of windows across the state and has been named one of the fastest growing window companies in the nation. And that is why we're New South proud.
Going on now. Save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
I'm John Morgan. After my brother Tim suffered a terrible accident, the lawyer we hired to help us ended up hurting us more. We didn't know any better, and boy did I learn quickly that all law firms are not the same. The lawyer you choose makes all the difference. That's why over the last 30 years, I set out to build a different kind of law firm where every client is treated like I would want to be treated all those years ago. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hello, Florida. This is Representative Bob Rommel with this week's interesting Florida fact. Florida is now the 3rd largest state in the nation, but when measured in per capita spending, Florida's state budget is nearly last in the nation. That's because conservatives in the state legislature are in charge of our tax dollars. But still, last year's state budget was over $93 billion, and more than $30 billion of that was spent on Medicaid alone. That's because the federal government has tried to socialize medicine and make our healthcare more like France. We need more competition, and we need transparency to keep our prices down. That's why I sponsored House Bill 1067 to create more transparency for our consumers and help get healthcare costs under control. More transparency in healthcare and no state income tax. Better for Florida. Let's keep it that way. Paid by Bob Rommel, Republican for State Representative.
This is State Representative Spencer Roach with our Week 2 legislative update. First, I want to talk about how the process works. Florida has a part-time legislature that meets annually for a 60-day legislative session. Our only constitutional requirement is to pass a balanced budget. House members can file up to 7 bills, and senators can file an unlimited number. 3,068 bills have been filed, and only about 10% of those will pass both chambers to be signed into law by the governor. Bills have been filed by Republicans to combat Chinese corporate espionage, to expand the Second Amendment to allow concealed carry in churches, to protect the internet privacy of consumers, and to cut licensure requirements to make it easier for people to start new businesses, among many, many other bills. Next week, we will begin voting on bills on the House floor. This is State Representative Spencer Roach. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and remember that this is your government, and we work for you. Sponsored by Friends of Spencer Roach, Post Office Box 3179, North Fort Myers, Florida, 33918.
Whether you're searching for your next home, browsing for decorating ideas, or just looking for an enjoyable afternoon out and about, don't miss the 2021 Collier Building Industry Association Parade of Homes, March 19th to 21st and March 26th to 28th, for 2 weekends filled with delightful tours of Naples, Bonita Springs, and Estero's premier communities. Join the parade and find your dream home. Look for the 8-page Parade of Homes insert in Collier Citizen and Naples Daily News, March 19th and March 26th. For more information, visit paradeofhomesnaples.com.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Yes! Look at us. I'm applauding you. Look at you. You made it to Friday. You made it to Jake Day. You've made it. It's here. We're together. It's Friday. Cannot wait. We're looking forward to a week. Jake is so excited. He checked out about 2.5 hours ago, and the program's only been on for 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com is the website you can watch. You know it's Jake Day because Jake is not wearing his hood today. Look at that. The hoodie is down, and he's just got a backwards baseball cap. And don't put the hoodie back. If you're watching at drewsteele.com, Steele with 3 E's, you can see Jake in all his hooded glory there. With his hoodie and his backwards baseball cap. And what? What are you laughing at?
No, I've had people there was one time I was standing out front waiting on an Uber or food or something.
And they think you're a
Somebody
troublemaker?
pulled up and was like, "Can I help you with something?"
Like,
I've been working here for 6 years, lady. You can go inside.
But nobody can see you. You're masked up. It's the mask thing. That's all it is.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that. The masks and Rand Paul going after the Fauci yesterday and calling him out on Capitol Hill. And good for Rand Paul, somebody doing it and saying, look, there's no science. There's no data that would suggest that you get the vaccine 2 weeks later, you're vaccinated, you don't have to worry about wearing a mask, or you have to worry about wearing a mask because you can get reinfected if you had the virus already. There's no evidence to suggest that you're going to get reinfected or infect others. It's not out there. So why are you, Dr. Fauci, double masking here? It's all theater. It's all and then you have to hear his answer to understand what the answer is to that. You're not allowed to talk about science. No science, no data. Stop it. All right, we'll get to that in just a second. Hey, in case you're wondering a little bit about Florida politics here, this is fun. If you go to any of the lefty websites that are out there, by the way, I think like 99.9% of the websites that you're going to that talk about Florida politics are all left-leaning, every single one of them. And it's hard to go anywhere to get to find out exactly what the truth is or what actually is happening. You could read into the stories and find out a little more, and then you can figure out the slant that's there. Believe me. Here's Florida politics. Charlie Crist blasts Ron DeSantis vaccine rollout, and he's proposing a successful shots plan. Just shush it. I don't want to tell Charlie Crist to shut up because that's disrespectful, and I don't want to be disrespectful around the kids because they're listening. Kids, don't do drugs. All right, so there's Charlie Crist who's blasting Ron DeSantis like we care. The reason why Charlie Crist is even in the news when it comes to this is because 2022 is around the corner, and I don't know if Charlie Crist is thinking that he's concerned about re-election or he's concerned about something else that he wants to do, or who knows where he wants to be. I mean, Charlie Crist isn't sure if he's a Democrat, if he's a Republican, if he's part of the Whig Party. He doesn't know, and so there you go. What else is there to do if you're a Democrat in the state than blast the governor that's doing everything right, and everybody knows it. Here's another headline. I love this. Governor DeSantis takes virus victory lap. Says national media is starting to admit that, what's the article say? Oh, that he's right. Taking a virus victory lap. No, the governor's not taking a virus victory lap. The governor is trying to explain to everybody when he knows that there's a media, even in this state, local, state, and national, that loves to regurgitate whatever's coming from the Washington Post or the New York Times or CNN, and all the nasty headlines doesn't make a difference because nobody's doing any journalism. All they're doing is ripping and reading and going, hey, this is what CNN said about Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida. Pfft, well, let's run with it. They don't do any work of their own anymore. Nobody does. He's not taking a victory lap. What he's trying to explain to everybody is that what he has done here in the state of Florida has worked. He's listened to the science. He's listened to the experts, as opposed to others who made the decision to do what they wanted to do because they love the power. That's what they want. They want the control and they want the power. And you hate to think that that's the case, but it is. And it's dangerous in a lot of different ways. And it's not just this. It's not just the state of Florida. It's not just Ron DeSantis. It's not just explaining to people what he did and why he did it. Not having the lockdowns in the state, schools being open. And now we see the boom here in the state in the low unemployment rate in comparison to other states. That's the reason why we're not going to see a lot of federal money coming here. But they're going to go to places where they had these draconian lockdowns and they had other issues in blue states before the pandemic. And look at that. We get the bailout. Oh, isn't that good? Bailing out all the other issues that they had. When in general, states across the country have not suffered the way that has been described throughout this pandemic. That's a whole other story. But there's another important thing that is happening that people have to recognize. And it's this, that when we're listening to a media that's constantly pushing a narrative, that even when the evidence is out there that what they're saying is not true, but they continue to push it, continue to push the narrative, you have to ask yourself why. And you have to recognize it. And then on the other side of it, the consequences that could arise to your liberties, freedoms. And what am I talking about? We know how the media pushed the Russia collusion hoax, that narrative. They continue to push it, and they continue to even bring it up today as if it still exists and it's a reality. And even though all the evidence that has been out there to prove otherwise, no. Oh, don't you trust those lion eyes of yours? No. We're telling you what the facts are, and they just are, and that's it. And when it comes to election integrity and the concerns about what happened in certain states, Pennsylvania and others, the chain of custody that we don't have on 400,000 ballots in the state of Georgia, and there's a real concern about where those ballots came from in drop boxes. And no. There was no election integrity issues in the state of Georgia, no election integrity issues in states like Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. You've got to stop. We're telling you what the narrative, and for you to think otherwise will get you in trouble. It'll get you in trouble with your boss. It'll get you in trouble with your friends. It'll get you in trouble to even speak of these things because now you're the crazy conspiracy, QAnon, I don't know, white supremacist to go down the line of anything that they can call you. And then somewhere they'll throw some istic or obia or something there as well. But I can take it another step further, and it's this. You know, we're constantly hearing about the hashtag Asian hate and the Asian hate that's out there right now, and it's being perpetrated, and it's out of control. And look, there may very well be. I'm not suggesting, as I didn't suggest yesterday, I'm not suggesting that there isn't. But to what degree are we talking? What are we talking about specifically? Correlation doesn't mean causation. The shooting in Atlanta, for example, even though we have the murderous, disgusting shooter that was taken into custody, that was talked about his motivation. And it appears as if his motivation had to do with sex addiction and getting rid of his addiction by doing something so horrific that you can't even imagine. That even though that's out there, no, it doesn't matter. What we say, the narrative continues. But why is that this push in this narrative dangerous to you? And I'll explain. You know, two things came up yesterday. Jerry Nadler was talking about it yesterday, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. And this was part of a subcommittee on the Constitution, civil rights, and civil liberties. And so this issue came up yesterday.
Words have power. What we say matters. How we treat each other matters. The expectations and standards we set and how we address this pandemic matter.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm just asking you, words matter, all of these things matter. Across the board, that is, right? I mean, because there's a lot of things that have been said about Trump supporters and comparing them to things that are pretty disgusting from the past, and then, calling Trump supporters specific things that I don't even want to repeat. Those words matter. I mean, they all matter, right? Across the board. Everything matters, right?
The conversation we are having today is long overdue, and it is vital that Congress shine a light on this issue.
All right, so here's what Jerry Nadler has to say about what the issue is. Here we go.
Some of this blame lies squarely on political leaders who have... It's important to...
Okay, that got clipped. All right. He starts to talk about the issue of Asian hate in the country. And again, not saying that it doesn't exist, but we are saying that there is a narrative that is being pushed over and over and over and over again to make it seem as if it's about white supremacy, and everybody knows who the leader when it comes to white supremacy is and who brought that into being. And not only that, it's also about the virus and the China virus. And you can't say China virus because you can't say where it came from, because it seemed to have come from a lab in Wuhan, China. And it'd be nice to find out more information on that. But unfortunately, we can't get all the details on that. Not even the WHO, who admitted yesterday that they haven't even been able to put out a report about it because they can't get any transparency and be able to see and talk to about what specifically happened there in Wuhan, because China will not allow them to bring individuals in. All they wanted to do is talk about how great China was able to, the Chinese Communist Party was able to battle back against this virus, and they're not being transparent. So it's really hard to get answers. So people have questions. And so Jerry Nadler says,
it's important to recognize that this surge did not spontaneously rise only out of fears regarding the coronavirus pandemic. Some of this blame lies squarely on political leaders who have demonized China, both because of the virus and ongoing geopolitical tensions, and in turn, Asian Americans have fallen in harm's way.
Okay. What Jerry Nadler is saying without saying it is, it's Trump's fault. Trump did this, demonizing China for anti-Asian attacks, that he's blaming politicians, he's blaming Donald Trump. It's because bringing up the coronavirus that came from China, the Chinese, the Wuhan virus. Can't say all of those things, even though that's the location to which it is believed that it came from. You can't help people who, as individuals, have decided to make it a component of their life and think certain ways about groups. Because we're not talking about Chinese people. We're talking about the Chinese Communist Party. We're talking about a party. We're talking about politics. And yet there are people like Jerry Nadler who wants you to believe that, no, that is across the board. We're talking about individuals. We're talking about people. And now because of this, we're having these attacks. And how can we as individuals, when it comes to somebody that's going to do something horrific or somebody who's going to attack somebody, we can't control what people are thinking, but at the same time, to make that leap automatically across the board because Trump this is planned. This is something that the media and Democrats want to push. Clearly, they want to push this because Jerry Nadler is saying that, like he mentioned.
Some of this blame lies squarely on political leaders who have demonized China.
Who do you think he's talking about?
Both because of the virus and ongoing geopolitical tensions.
Geopolitical tensions. So it's Trump that caused all of this. But then here's where it gets worse. And this is what we have to recognize. So how does it... Look, this isn't you. You don't do this. You are looking at this politically, and you're looking at the Chinese Communist Party, who clearly has done everything that they could do to turn the tables, to make it about everybody else, to not be transparent, for people to examine exactly what happened there in Wuhan. And it's, by all the evidence that is out there, it is clear that as many people have said, how this originated, how it got out, the idea that there are people that have been working on viruses, countries that work on viruses and create these viruses in the lab, the idea of which would be to create these viruses in labs so that you know that in the future, if something were to happen, if this virus or a virus like it were to come into existence across the planet, that if you have this created in a lab, then somehow you've created the identity of that virus and be able to have create a way for vaccines or cure or to recognize it just in case something were to come out. And then unfortunately on the other side, there are people who might use that and weaponize it and tuck it away someplace and say, hey, that might be hard to distinguish the difference between the two. If you have one country who's saying, no, listen, that's what we do. We all do this. We all create these viruses in labs because if it were to happen across the globe, then we recognize it. Something like this were to come out, then listen, we've examined it, we've created it, we've seen how the DNA is and how it works, and so now we can combat it. But at the same time, boy, as a bioweapon, it sure would be good. How do you make the distinction? How do you know? You hope for the best, but unfortunately, you can also fear the worst. But having said that, now you have to be worried about how that affects you here at home. And here's how it affects you. Here's why you have to be worried. Here's Bill de Blasio. As Bill de Blasio yesterday started to talk about this, the Asian hate and the concerns there about hate crimes against Asian Americans. And, what do we do? Here's Bill de Blasio's answer to what we do.
So I want to remind anyone who feels that they have witnessed or experienced any act of hate, go to nyc.gov/stopasianhate.
All right, so witnessing any hate.
Really important to get those reports. There's also a lot of information in there about how to support the Asian American community.
Now listen carefully, everybody.
I think if we get more and more reporting, it will help us to stop this and find the very few people who are doing it. I also think even if something is not a criminal case.
If something is not a criminal case.
A perpetrator being confronted by the city, whether it's NYPD or another agency, and being told that what they've done was very hurtful to another person and could, if ever repeated, lead to criminal charges, that's another important piece of the puzzle. That's why we need these reports.
That's another important piece of the puzzle. So the mayor of New York City is suggesting that, hey, listen, if we find out that maybe you're committing hate against somebody calls up and says, my neighbor is, that maybe non-criminal behavior, that maybe there should be a police officer or somebody to confront you, maybe knock at the door, to have a talk with you. Do you see how far it can go? And then you're like, first of all, it's outrageous. Can't believe that a mayor would say something like this. But then here's the other side of it. And it's very simple. And then we got to take a break. And it's this. You're looking at this and saying, well, it's crazy. It's de Blasio. He's a communist. It's crazy. That's over there. That's not here in Florida. That's not us in Southwest Florida. We don't have these issues. But wait a second. Who are the people that want to run for office in this state? Who are the people that would like to be governor of the state of Florida? Andrew Gillum was one of those people. You think if this was happening and Andrew Gillum were the governor of the state of Florida, that maybe he might suggest and might have others that would help him to suggest that maybe that's something that should happen as well? And he's really pretty radical in his views. There may be others coming through the ranks there in the state, here, whether it's in Tallahassee or anywhere, where people are starting to talk about this person. Could be the next governor, could be a next congressman, could be someone who's a leadership even in Southwest Florida on the progressive side that thinks, sounds like a good idea to me. These majorities don't last forever. Majorities in Tallahassee don't last forever. Governors like Ron DeSantis don't last forever. And it wasn't very, we weren't too far off from having an Andrew Gillum as governor of the state of Florida. So I'm just telling you all of this to say that don't ever think that it can't happen here. That's all I'll say about that. All right. 239-479-5592. If you think I'm crazy and you want to comment on that, we'd love to hear from you. Maybe it's in the comments and reaction sections at drewsteele.com, the website. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Get more than what the internet tells you. Get up to speed on The Drive with Trey Radel. Weekdays 5 to 7.
92.5 Fox News. Right. All along. Cancel culture. Now they want to ban Dr. Seuss books. Watch Newsmax TV as it exposes cancel culture's dangerous agenda. Tune into Newsmax TV for blockbuster shows with Greg Kelly, Grant Stinchfield, Rob Schmidt, and more. Newsmax TV is on all major cable systems. If you don't get it, call your operator. Newsmax is free on smart TVs and Roku, YouTube, Zumo, and Pluto. And download the free Newsmax app on your phone and start watching. Millions already are. So should you.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Miami area attorneys online at CordellCordell.com. Se habla español. Legal services available in English and Spanish. Miami, Florida. Lisa Carges, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. Announcer is a paid presenter.
If you missed getting an extra $8,000 for your old car, pay close attention. The $8,000 trade-in event at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral has been extended. Friday through Monday only. Bring your trade to Florida's #1 Nissan dealer and get $8,000 over book value for it. Your $2,000 vehicle is now worth $10,000. Your $10,000 vehicle is now worth $18,000. Any way you look at it, you get an extra $8,000. Sutherland Nissan is taking all trade-ins, no matter the year, make, or model. If you thought your car was worth only a few $100, add $8,000. This event has been extended through this weekend only. It absolutely ends Monday. Don't miss out on getting $8,000 extra funds just for bringing in your old car. Rush to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, Florida's #1 Nissan dealer, and your used car mega store. Shop online at NissanSales.com or CapeCoralNissan.com. If it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much.
See dealer for details.
Trey Radel, your host of The Drive here. It's been a few years since I had my LASIK procedure done with Dr. France and his team, but still, every day is absolutely amazing after having worn glasses and contacts every day of my life for so long. Well, since I had my LASIK procedure done, the France Eye Care team offers now a whole host of options that are even better and easier for you to get LASIK. One possibility you can look at is called the SMILE procedure. Basically, it has a smaller incision, no flap, and a really low incidence of dry eye syndrome, something actually I never even had. Here's another one, Visian ICL. What this is actually an implantable lens, both reversible and replaceable. So in other words, it can be removed if your vision needs change. Go contact Dr. France and his team today. They changed my life. Let them change yours. Dial ** 2020 from your mobile phone. Financing is available and affordable.
France Eye Care.
Hey, we get it. You don't want to be hearing a Progressive commercial right now, so let us tell you something you do want to hear. You are intelligent. You make all the right decisions. You were smart before smart was cool, and you made it cool again. You have a wealth of knowledge, and you are so very clever. I bet you already knew I was going to say that, you genius. There, don't you feel better? You'll also feel better when you hear you could save big when you switch to Progressive. But I'm pretty sure you already knew that, too. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Got mold?
In your house?
What do I do now?
Call 239-936-1033.
Call Fire Service, your disaster response friends.
The Mega Mall meat sale in Fort Myers and Port Charlotte right now for a limited time. Hurry now. 20 ribeyes for $30. EBT, credit cards, debit cards, all payments accepted. Last chance to compare 5-star steaks to Omaha Steak Box steak deals and save on the ribeyes. 20 ribeyes for $30 $30. Look for the big tent at Edison Mall at the Cleveland Road entrance. Also look for the big truck at the Port Charlotte Town Center in the JCPenney parking lot behind Red Lobster. Also on the big truck, crazy deals on premium steak, pork, seafood, and gourmet chicken breast. Everything must go. It's a truckload meat mania sale. Look for the big tent at the Edison Mall at the Cleveland Road entrance. Also look for the big truck at the Port Charlotte Town Center in the JCPenney parking lot behind Red Lobster. Crazy deals on Kansas City strips, fillets, bacon wrap fillets, mega ribeyes, and get 20 ribeyes for $30. The Mega Mall Meat Sale going on now at Edison Mall in Port Charlotte Town Center. Don't wait.
Want to make your home a more comfortable place but don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. When you turn to your Carrier expert, they'll show you our full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems and help you pick the one that best fits into your home budget. Because in this economy, who couldn't use a little more comfort? Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Visit Accurate Comfort Services online at AccurateComfortServices.com today. License number CMC 057023.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News traffic.
Taking a look at my traffic cams, I-75 is up to speed. Luckily, we don't have a crash this morning as of right now. We do have a crash at Summerlin Road and Bass Road that is slowing traffic east on Summerlin, north on Bass. If you're in Cape Coral, slowdowns on Cape Coral Parkway heading east of Coronado. Also, that midpoint bridge is very congested into Fort Myers. There is a crash in Lehigh at Lee Boulevard in Alvin. Northbound delays on Westgate, eastbound delays on Lee. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. We still have a few areas of light rain lingering in Collier County, but elsewhere we are clearing out and quiet. We'll see a lot of sunshine as cooler and drier air mixes in this afternoon. High temperatures in the 70s. We keep those cooler and drier conditions all weekend long as Saturday and Sunday morning will feature overnight lows in the 50s and afternoon highs only peaking in the mid-70s too. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
It's not the Republican Party versus the Democrat Party.
Talking about what matters.
It's the Republican Party versus an organized crime syndicate.
92.5 Fox News.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
Hi, it's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes. They say love and passion makes the world go round. Love for home, family, your country, partner, a friend, and love for food. Stevie wants to be part of your love with our food, drink, sports, and fun. Our passion for your satisfaction brings our love to all of our great customers. Whether it's our brisket short rib burgers, Chicago pizza, fajitas, wings, fish fry, or ribs, it's delivered to your table with love. So at Stevie's, we invite you to share our love of great food, drinks, sports, and fun. You'll never get bored or broke. We feel loved by the sound of our great customers. We promise to treat you like family at your home away from home. I guarantee it. For daily specials, go to StevieTomato.com. Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. Come, come, come.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
I'm Stuart Duncan from Duncan's Diamonds, and I want to be sure you're given the best prices on fine jewelry and diamonds. Other jewelers don't like me. Why? Because we offer better prices and a superior experience. If you go to Tiffany's, you're going to get a great product, but pay 2 to 3 times what it's really worth. If you go to a chain store, you're going to get something that's really cheap and bad quality. Don't settle for high prices, low quality, and a bad experience. Buy real jewelry from me, Stuart Duncan, a real jeweler. The love of your life will really be proud to know that their diamond came from Duncan's Diamonds. Your true love deserves the best. And at Duncan's Diamonds, we will not be undersold by anyone, anytime, anywhere, and I will make sure that you can count on it. Duncan's Diamonds. It's worth the drive for the best prices on diamonds and fine jewelry. Come to one of our 3 beautiful locations. US 41, Gulf Coast Town Center, Naples at Mercado.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. We'll get it done right and get it done safely. Call now for $77 off any repair.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Limitations and restrictions may apply. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
What's better than getting the full original MSRP for your trade-in? How about winning $2,500? Hey, Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan. We've partnered with our friends down the road at South Street Restaurant to present you with the Just for Kicks $2,500 giveaway. To participate, just head on over to South Street Restaurant and guess how many basketballs are in the all-new 2021 Nissan Kicks we have displayed there. It's that easy. While you're there, tell them Naples Nissan sent you to get a half-off pizza and buy one, get one free on select drinks. Come see us at Naples Nissan to get the full original base MSRP for your trade-in. Then head on over to South Street Restaurant in your new ride to enter the Just for Kicks giveaway for your chance to win $2,500. We're both right here on Pine Ridge Road. Visit naplesnissan.com for full details. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Anytime you want to watch. And we get some comments and reactions there as well, which is always cool to hear from you all. And we show them right there on the screen. So, I know what I wanted to do. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, wow. Let's see if I can find that. All right, getting ready for the top 5 audio clips of the day in just a second. Let me see if I can find this first because I'm short one, and if I don't get this one, then I'm really going to be struggling. So just had because I couldn't find it. I don't know why I couldn't find it right away. Okay, here it is. All right, good. All right, you ready? Top 5 audio clips of the day. The 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
I'm also hearing deep concern about some of the actions your government is taking.
我现在讲一句，你们没有资格在中国的面前说你们从实力的地位出发同中国谈话。
So let me say here that in front of the Chinese side, the United States does not have the qualification to say that it wants to speak to China from a position of strength.
Oh, boy. So there's the Biden administration struggling during its first face-to-face meeting with Communist China this week. They're on U.S. soil in Alaska. And Anthony Blinken trying to be tough with them, talking tough, and China basically saying, hey, listen, you're in no position of strength to talk to us about the things that you are talking. Let's just say it this way. It was not a very good day there yesterday. And, you want to ask yourself if Donald Trump were president of the United States, if the discussions would be this kind of tone. I think not.
Number 4. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Listen, it happens. All right. So Sean Hannity was there getting ready to do the show and came back from break. And unfortunately, he was vaping on air. And he had his glasses on and he had his the vape stick there. And he was, uh-oh. And listen, it's one of those awkward moments and things like that happen. I know it's hard to believe that people are real, like they're real and human beings behind the scenes, but they are. And one of those awkward moments that, and I think it was Laura Ingraham even that came after the break and was kind of joking about being caught off the air. Look, it happened, but it was funny to watch there.
Number 3.
I also think even if something is not a criminal case, a perpetrator being confronted by the city, whether it's NYPD or another agency, and being told that what they've done was very hurtful to another person and could, if ever repeated, lead to criminal charges, that's another important piece of the puzzle. That's why we need these reports.
Another important piece of the puzzle there is de Blasio in New York, who wanted to let everybody know that he's concerned about the Asian hate that's going on around the country because, of course, Donald Trump, and he's the one that caused all of these issues. And so now the way to stop this is to have basically the police, the woke police, if you will, that will knock on your door if they're in New York City and somebody says, hey, I think my neighbor said something really bad, and it's non-criminal behavior, that maybe we should start confronting people about it, about the hurtful non-criminal behavior that you have going on. Knock on the door, and maybe we might have a thing or two to say about it. With regards to the Asian hate that is being discussed in the country. I wonder if that would ever lead to anything else and any other knocks at the door for any other reason, and I wonder how that does work. And yeah, you should be worried.
Number 2.
Now, when President Harris and I took a virtual tour of a vaccination center in Arizona not long ago, one of the nurses on that tour
said, who's the president? You or her? I just added to that. So there you go. It's the president of the United States, we're told, Joe Biden, who is saying that it is not him. I guess it's president of the United States. It's Kamala Harris that's president of the United States. Is that? It's just Joe being Joe. Everybody.
Number 1.
There is no science to say we're going to have a problem from the large number of people being vaccinated. You want to get rid of vaccine hesitancy? Tell them they can quit wearing their mask after they get the vaccine. You want people to get the vaccine? Give them a reward instead of telling them that the nanny state's going to be there for 3 more years and you got to wear a mask forever. People don't want to hear it. There's no science behind it.
Well, let me just state for the record that masks are not theater. Masks are protective. And we
have immunity there, theater. If you already have immunity, you're wearing a mask to give comfort to others. You're not wearing a mask because of any science.
I totally disagree with you.
He totally disagrees with him. Good for Rand Paul for doing that there yesterday on Capitol Hill. It's the Fauci against Rand Paul. And Rand Paul's like, listen, I got all of this evidence that's right here that suggests that you get the vaccine 2 weeks later, you are vaccinated, you're not going to get the virus, that is a good thing, and that if you get the virus, that you're not going to be getting it again or spreading it or anything else like that. That's a good situation, and yet instead you're here double masking. Why are we doing all of this?
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
And again, good for him for saying that. Is nothing, Jake? Nothing yet. Okay. Yeah, no, it's okay. 239-479-5592. Yeah, I mean, just asking the question. And that is something that has to be discussed. You know, why is it that you have the Fauci showing up on Capitol Hill double masked when he's been vaccinated? He knows full well what the vaccination means. The rest of the country is under the impression that we all know what it means to be vaccinated. And if you had it and what that means, that when it comes to the reinfection or being a spreader, what's going on here? A little more of what he said.
What study shows significant reinfection, hospitalization, and death after either natural infection or the vaccine? It doesn't exist. There is no evidence that there are significant reinfections after vaccine. In fact, I don't think we have a hospitalization in the United States after the 2-week period after the second vaccination. We don't have a death in the United States.
You're not hearing what I'm saying about variants. We're talking about wild type versus variants.
And what proof is there that there are significant reinfections with hospitalizations and death from the variants? None in our country. Zero.
Well, because we don't have a prevalent of a variant yet. We're having one. Can I finish? We're having 117 that's becoming more dominant.
Policy based on conjecture.
Based on conjecture. He's right. It's policy based on conjecture. So that's what he's doing. So there he is. He's got all the evidence. He's showing the evidence to say about infection rate and about getting vaccines and why are you double masking it. He's, well, you don't know. There could be a variant, but there is no variant right now. So why are we making policy based on something that isn't in existence right now? That's the question. Wait a minute. All right, it is Mike Opelka. We've been waiting for you. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I take total blame, but he's here now.
I love it when you take the blame.
Yeah,
it's not your fault. It's the ass fault.
Yeah, well, I guess it could very well be. All right, for the kids out there, good stuff. All right, sorry about that.
No worries.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. Wasn't that like watching Mothra versus Godzilla? Is that too old a reference?
No,
I
get it.
The kids will know that, right?
I got
Mothra versus Godzilla. I just think that anytime you get a guy like Rand Paul who's got so much brain power and he's got the medical credibility and he's a surgeon and he's out there donating his time to make kids able to see, and he goes up against the Fauci. I just thought that was fantastic. That was theater. I was eating that up with a spoon.
Yeah, that was great stuff. And again, it goes back to something that I've talked about a couple of times, and even a story that came up recently, how misinformation is distorting COVID policies. And Rand Paul is exactly right. When you see the New York Times writing an article about a Gallup poll that's talking about politically what people know or think they know about the basic facts about the coronavirus, where you have people aged 24 and younger, that people think that it's about 8%, the COVID-19 death rate, people 24 and younger, and you have people thinking it's 8% when it's in fact 0.1%. And then you have Democrats, 36% of Democrats who think when it comes to the numbers about over 65, where they think that, and they got all their numbers backed up and messed up, when it comes to the numbers. It's an 80% number of the people who die over 65 with COVID. And 36%, that's the number that they think, the deaths over 65. Like, they have no clue. They're completely off. The numbers are skewed. And if they don't have this information and they don't have it right, then how is it that you're going to have policies created properly when you even have the American people who would be complaining when the right policies are put out because of the stats and the science and the data and the numbers, the right ones? This is what happens. You have damaging policy put out there. And that's the point that Rand Paul was trying to make.
Yeah, and he's dead on right, 100% spot on right. And we need to keep repeating the number. And the number is, this is a virus that is 99% survivable.
Right.
99%. No other number matters. And we know that there's a problem with seniors. We know that there's a huge problem if you're over 70 and really if you're over 80. But the rest of the country, this is 99.6% survivable. And if you get it, you're immune for a long time, as you heard about the immunization memory from Rand Paul. But this is now, they're flailing for control. Gina Carano, the actress who's been canceled.
Yeah.
She sent me something yesterday, and I posted it again on social media. It says, if we allow the government to break the law because of an emergency, they will always create an emergency to break the law. And that's what's going on.
Yeah.
This is the perpetuating emergency in order to keep breaking the laws. And I'm glad somebody's standing up, somebody like Rand Paul. It was epic. It was theater yesterday for me, but it was true theater. It was documentary.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like, and that point could be made by the de Blasio comments about maybe, when it comes to hateful comments made by people, maybe it's time for the New York Police Department to maybe knock at people's door. Even if it's non-criminal behavior, if somebody
hold on a second.
What?
Whoa. I missed that Warren Wilhelm said this yesterday. I got to get this. But yesterday, there was a story about the daughter of one of the most famous Democratic senators ever. You know, Daniel Patrick Moynihan. Remember him? He and Reagan were buddies.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember him.
Wait.
They often were the
say
Moynihan.
that.
You remember?
Yeah, Moynihan. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
I remember Daniel Moynihan.
He was Reagan's buddy, but they were politically different. But he was one of the biggest Democrats ever. His daughter is involved in an investigation of a hate crime in New York right now. She was stopped and she yelled at some Asian people, "Go back to effing China," and they recorded it. And the police were called, and she charged them, or was claiming they were assaulting her, and they claimed that she committed a hate crime by saying that. Now, that's speech, okay? That's free speech. You may not like it, and it might be awful and distasteful, but that's now being investigated as a hate crime in New York. Go across the country to Oakland, California, where an Asian man in his 70s was murdered last week by an African-American man. He was out for a morning walk. He was murdered. The guy has been caught and charged with murder. Guess what he hasn't been charged with?
What?
A hate crime.
Yeah. Well, that goes...
This guy killed an Asian-American man. He's charged with murder, but not a hate crime. We have a person who used inappropriate and offensive speech. She's being investigated for a hate crime. And oh, by the way, she's a Democrat, the daughter of one of the most famous Democrats ever.
Yeah. And you know, some people have brought this up to me as well. And if you go back to 2010 and you go back to the Black on Asian violence that was happening in Oakland and in San Francisco at the time, and that's what it was being described as until the media was like, no. This is just this was all about money. It was all about economics. It had nothing to do with any kind of racial hate. And there were groups that were pushing back against it. And nobody was allowed to say that at the time. But that was happening. And it was a big deal at the time. And people were saying, no, we've got a real issue here. But we weren't allowed to talk about it at the time.
Go back to Rodney King and the riots in Los Angeles after the Rodney King verdict came out. And one of the first targets that some of the rioters went after were the Asian stores in the hood, because there are a lot of Asian-owned stores in the hood in LA, and they were torn up and burned down. And it was definitely targeting, and it was a noticeable then. And we need to quit hiding this kind of thing. There is tension in communities. And it exists between races, between Asians and blacks, between blacks and Latinos, between Latinos and whites and blacks. Everybody's got tension. Yeah. And we got to quit hiding it and lying about it.
Yeah. Mike Opelka joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. PureOpelka.com is the website. Anytime you want to check that out, always good stuff there. What else were we talking? What else was I bringing up this morning? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't know, but before we get too far away from Fauci and Rand Paul, did you see where Fauci went after he got smacked down?
Didn't he go to CNN?
Of course he did. Because he needed a hug. He needed the comfort. He went to a safe space, CNN. Did you hear him with Fredo?
Oh, I got to see if I can find it.
I got it. I got it right here.
Okay, well,
because I care.
Okay, well,
I care.
Well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Jake is saying that he's worried about the playback because he said your microphone's not on the system microphone. That's what he's concerned about. Little on-air tech talk here. He's worried about that it won't play back.
If I push the button and you don't hear anything, I guess we'll know, right?
Yes, and push the button.
Push the button.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Okay. All right, then I'm sorry.
Wait, I have it. I have it here. Hold on a second. Okay, I got it. It's a little long though. All right, let me get to where he. Did you play it right up from Fauci's comments, or did you play?
Is it longer than the explanation we're trying?
I know. Here we go. Okay.
To be honest with you, I mean, I've been dealing. This is not the first time that we've clashed at a Senate hearing. You know, there is always, as is always the case, a kernel of truth in what he says about that there is protection
Oh.
to some extent after you get infected. There's no doubt about that. He completely does not take into account the variants. He quotes literature.
Oh, whatever. I don't even care.
No, there's a part when Lesser Fredo goes in there and says, "Did you know that the vaccination is now being called the Fauci ouchie?"
What?
I'm not kidding you. Yeah, and if you do a search, until last night it really wasn't trending.
Yeah.
But he said to him, "Did you know that they're calling the vaccination and the vaccine the Fauci ouchie?" And I'm laughing here because this butt smooching has to stop.
Yeah.
We've just CNN's ratings, by the way, a little Schadenfreude moment here.
Yep.
CNN's ratings are sliding down so fast. It is just so much fun to watch. Brian Stelter has broken a record. He has set a new low for his Unreliable Sources show. So his show's tanking. CNN's ratings are dropping. Why? They don't have Donald Trump to kick around.
That's right. That is
At
right.
least the bobos over at MSNBC realize this, and yesterday Mika blamed Trump for Biden's dog biting White House staff.
Of course.
I'm not kidding.
That-
She said Trump's bad juju was still in the White House.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we got an abbreviated version of Michael Pelka this Friday. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we just have you we're back next week. Maybe we do a double next week or something. Maybe we do that. I don't know.
Call my account.
I can't. I gotta call his peeps. Sorry about that. I put that over the air and I should have asked. I should have asked the people in authority first. You're right. All right, Michael Pelka. Have a great weekend. I'll see you later.
God bless you.
All right, there he goes. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
92.5 Fox News.
Being involved in illegal